What is going on, everybody? And welcome in. If you were here early, you got to see us right before the start of the show. What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing Thursday. We are solo streaming right now to YouTube. If you normally listen to us on Twitch, we apologize. I don't know why OBS decided to link my Twitch. I didn't even touch this account. I never even touched this account with anything. Like, nothing has changed, so I have no clue as to why I decided to link us to my account on Twitch. But in any way, shape, or form, welcome in episode 122. We're gonna start off with a really happy moment, and then we're gonna get right into the dumpster fire shit stain of an industry that we call the video game industry. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
It's real bad.
It's real
but
bad.
is it as bad as Kai Cenat being at 1,610 deaths in Elden Ring and still having not beat Millennia after playing for 104, streaming for 148 hours?
Is he still straight? Like, wait, so he's going straight? Just a pure 140?
It's basically like a subathon type thing. He's doing like a straight stream, but he's taking breaks in between. Like right now, he's doing some reaction content. But yeah, he's at 1,610 deaths and has been on Millennia for 2 days.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'd probably be right there with him. I'm not. I can't blame him for that.
It's honestly, I'm surprised. His mental is better than I expected because I don't know many people that could die that many times.
I would have quit. I would have quit 148 hours ago.
There's no way he's quitting that after you've seen the production value that he put into hyping that stream up.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, he's killing it. It's his first Souls game.
Well, it sounds more like she's killing it.
Oh, she is. I mean, he started her with 1,300 deaths, so she's claimed him 300 times in the past 2 days. So
nice.
Yeah. Wow,
interesting.
That's crazy. Well, in any case, let's kick off the show in a really happy moment. We want to take this time to recognize one of our very own, Mr. Billy the Squid. He is newly married, and he's got the ring to prove it.
Newly acquired.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
he is
Billy.
newly locked down. So how was the wedding, Bill?
Did she before you answer that? Did she buy the $130 DLC and everything like that with the
Did you get to see the Billy season pass?
No, she didn't get the Billy season pass.
No.
She got the standard edition and she's happy
Standard
about
edition.
it. No, the wedding was good. Had a little bit of a scare at the start of the wedding with some rain and some hail, but it cleared up real quick and actually turned into a really amazing ceremony. Had a lot of fun with some friends and family, and had a good honeymoon afterwards. We went to a cabin in the woods and watched some horror movies. So
Nice.
very us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got to see the pictures. You guys won't get to see the pictures. That's for pre-patch only, but it was no, that's awesome. So big congrats. Everybody give it a clap up for Mr. Bill. He is, like I said,
clap.
now part of
Golf
the
clap.
wedding gang. There's two of us. We got to get the other two. When are you guys getting engaged, or I don't know,
Well,
dating somebody or something? I mean,
not for any time soon. I see.
Listen,
I'm
there's a
chilling
real
right now.
easy way to solve this problem, and you two just get married.
That's-
That
I mean,
way we can just
We could just go to Las Vegas, find Elvis, and
we could.
you know,
I mean,
eloped.
yeah, we could.
I mean, look, we have
This is
spent
true.
enough time with each other in the show to be common law married, so I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
this is some
fair
kind of
enough.
four-way marriage going on now.
we probably have people
So-
who ship us or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
gosh.
Anyway.
We still need to figure out who the skinny hater is, and then we can
That's true.
yeah.
Yep.
I
That
mean,
is true.
it's got to be me, right?
What do you
Yeah,
what are you sipping on again, Mr. Scruffy?
Yingling. It's a flight.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
I've got a Celsius over here. Bill's got
Nice.
flavored water, I think.
Yeah, it's raspberry lemonade water.
Enigma
There you go.
has got
It's
oil
just-
still, I imagine.
It's just, what is that? A spit bottle?
Gatorade.
Gatorade. A spitter.
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
That's how you know you're from the
That's my
South.
spit
Whenever
bottle.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, when the first thing that you see is a Gatorade bottle, your first inclination is
Oh,
that's a
gosh.
spitter.
That's my tobacco spit
Yeah.
burner.
It's the worst when you got somebody who does dip and has spit bottles all over their
Ew,
car.
it's gross,
It's
man.
disgusting.
Fucking
gross.
gross, dude. It's
Yeah.
nasty. I do know
It
a
is.
friend that that actually was wasted and dipped and was
No.
dipping and drinking and
Yep.
swallowed, took a big old slug of his spitter. So
Ugh.
yeah.
Ugh.
That's disgusting.
All
That's
right.
almost as bad as like if you have like a kid in the car that's not familiar with what you do and they just see, ooh, Gatorade, and then
Ugh.
they throw
You
up.
know, that's almost as gross as this game industry right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I was gonna have a
Yeah,
story,
that's
but you
grosser.
guys you're gonna segue away. You're gonna make me segue. All right. Well,
I had a
guess-
segue for you, so you know.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and start moving in. But we're actually gonna. So normally we talk about games that we've been playing. But I think just because of the nature of this, we need to end on a good note, not a bad note. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and start with the gaming news because there's plenty of fucking shit that we're gonna talk about. And it's gonna cover the last 2 weeks because obviously, if you were not here or whatever else. Neither were we. We did not make it last week to the show, unfortunately. Between Bill getting married and I was not feeling too great and some other stuff. So, this is going to be covering 2 weeks, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to be covering it all. And the first thing that we're going to cover is good old fucking Microsoft. And mother, dude.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, if you're an audio listener and you're not here live, what we're talking about here is that last week Microsoft announced that they were closing the Redfall developer, Arcane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and also doing some pretty hefty cuts over at Bethesda. So, this story that we're showcasing comes to us from IGN. Yeah, so like this to me is like such a slap to the fucking face because I was such a person that truly shouted and praised Phil Spencer and really championed him for this, or not for this, but just for in general what he was talking about and touting and all this shit or whatever. And man, like I don't know, man. Like
Yeah.
I have no faith in.
Why
I
don't you tell him what the fuck you did before you like
he
20 minutes into the conversation?
He fucking closed him. What do you mean? He closed everything. Like I mean, it's obviously it's not, like, can we just say that it's him solely? No, it's not just his decision, but he is absolutely part of the decision to close down these studios. And again, you're talking about like Arcane Austin, which they were the ones that did Redfall. Redfall was supposed to have a fucking update. Actually was supposed to have an update here recently. That all of the work had been done, and they killed that, right? Like that's gone.
Right.
That's not happening.
Well, let's dial it back. Let's just put some
Well, fuck
context
that.
on this.
Nah,
Right?
dialing back shit.
Redfall has not had an update in a year.
That makes
Like,
this better. That makes this any
Like,
better.
that's ridiculous, dude. They have not had anything come out in a year. We've been waiting on that. That was the original idea, or the original news article that I posted was that this is the day before they got closed down was like their year anniversary, right? And we still hadn't seen any DLC characters. We still hadn't seen any of the updates or anything like that. So, and then magically after their thing closed, they were like, oh, hey, by the way, we're gonna have an update. We were gonna have an update in like 2 weeks. Sure, right.
I mean, but I don't know. I mean,
for the entire year. You can't tell me that it took a year for you to remove Always Online from your fucking video game.
Right.
I mean, Go
I
ahead.
feel like that's being a little bit blamey to the company. Like
Oh no,
they have no reason to not hold.
Let's step it back 100%. Fucking the decision to destroy these fucking things was terrible. But I'm just saying, Arcane Austin was not at fault for this. Like they released a shitty product and then didn't put out any updates.
In my
Like they
eyes,
released one shitty product in a repertoire of generally good products.
They released
it's-
one shitty product, and the
What-
last good product that they released was Prey, which was back in like what 2012.
Oh, that was Arcane, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but okay,
So-
but I still you know when Forspoken came
and
out, right?
Dishonored.
We gave
No, Arcane Austin, I don't think did Dishonored. That was Arcane Studios in general, but Arcane Austin did Prey, I believe.
They just did Prey and Redfall.
Prey
So-
and Redfall, and I think like one other game, but I'm not
Deathloop
entirely
wasn't
sure.
them as well.
I don't think so. I thought that it was, but I think that's Arcane Leon or Leon or whatever it is.
I can't
did
find the
Deathloop.
difference, but okay. Oh, I
So-
see.
Okay, so here's the thing. We back when Forspoken came out, we gave shit to Square Enix for not doing their job of intervening right with this. When Redfall came out, we gave shit to Xbox, and Phil himself walked out on stage on Twitter in a video and was like, "This is our fucking bad. I'm going to own this. We're going to correct it. We're going to make it right and do all of those kind of things." And so I
Yeah.
understand that the studio did not continue to update or whatever else, but we don't know the conversations that were happening behind closed doors, that maybe that studio was trying to do stuff and Xbox basically was slow rolling this and basically, you know, putting roadblocks in place and putting things to stop it. I'm not saying that they were
They were definitely still working on it, because I think the day that the announcements came out, they updated the Steam patch cache with a new patch that was
And-
like they were like basically loading up a new patch to come out for Redfall.
And-
I don't know if it's the big update that they were talking about in the thing, but
Yeah.
literally the day that the closures happened, they had updated that cache on Steam.
Yeah.
So they were still working on it to some capacity.
and I get what you're saying, that yes, the developer,
Yeah.
it doesn't take a year to develop stuff. You can definitely roll stuff out, but also in these types of situations, I guarantee you that the chain of command to get this stuff approved and get this stuff working and spend time and spend money and spend effort decisions were being made by Microsoft, right? This is a Microsoft owned property. This is a Microsoft owned company, and they did very little, if anything, to support, you know, Arcane Austin. And even like, fuck Arcane Austin. Please explain to me Hi-Fi Rush and fucking the Evil
Yeah,
Within
no,
Pango game works. How the
I
fuck
don't
does
want
that make
I've-
sense?
explaining that. Yeah.
I stated that in that too. I don't understand the Hi-Fi Rush, and then for them to come out and be like, "Well, the reason why we closed down these studios was because we wanted to focus on smaller projects with smaller teams," makes
Yeah.
no fucking sense, because
That you
literally
closed down
Hi-Fi Rush
which was
a
exactly
small
that.
team
Yeah.
that was a small product that did extremely well for you. That was one of the things that didn't make any fucking sense to me right there. Was like Hi-Fi Rush was one of their biggest sellers this year, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one of their
Yeah.
major products that they released this year. The other two, I mean, I can't remember what the other one was. Was it Dog something? What was
Alpha
the other
Dog
one?
Games.
Alpha Dog Gaming. Alpha Dog Gaming, they basically they didn't. I mean, they closed down the studio, but they merged them into ZeniMax Online Entertainment, which was who they
No,
were
that
already
was
working with.
Alpha Dog
that
didn't
was,
get-
no,
yeah,
that was Roadhouse.
that was Roadhouse.
Was that the other one? The
Studios, yeah.
Roadhouse? Yeah, I couldn't remember
okay.
which one was what, but yeah, Roadhouse. They were already working with ZeniMax. So granted, yes, it sucks that they got closed down, but at least those people
employees
went.
got
Yeah,
sustained.
they went someplace that their talent can be useful, right? Which is more than can be said for Arcane Austin, which does suck, because granted, Redfall, terrible fucking product. Prey, amazing, right? Prey was great. Prey was one of the better games that released that year that it released, right? So it sucks to see that talent being let go. But at least with Redfall, I can understand. The rest of them, I can't understand it. I don't understand what the fuck was going through Microsoft's head.
It makes me wonder, like, if the shadow launch of Hi-Fi Rush was because Xbox did not have any faith in the product at all. Like, how long
Maybe.
has I guess Microsoft, let's just call it what it is.
Well-
How long has Microsoft been wanting to consolidate these acquisitions and just been waiting for like the right time, or like enough distance from the
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard purchase to have gotten by before they start cutting teams?
Well,
Microsoft also rarely does a good job with like marketing their like
Yeah,
smaller studios
They at
too.
least have some trailer to stuff. Just completely
they
shadow
do.
dropping.
The shadow drop was a curveball for sure.
Well,
And
I
it
think-
worked
I
in their
think as
favor in
well-
this regard, but it
It
didn't
did.
save the studio.
I think
But-
as well that Hi-Fi Rush, the big issue with that was like, and we've talked about it in the past, like Hi-Fi Rush was a huge sales point for Xbox Game Pass. Like that was
Yeah.
where they dropped it originally. Right. That was where they shadow dropped it originally, was Xbox Game Pass. So and I think you brought it up, Bill, that you were curious if this was some kind of like detriment to their Xbox Game Pass, or if these were like,
that's my biggest question is like, with the Activision Blizzard purchases, them spending a lot of money on that, I would love to see what Game Pass is doing right now and seeing if that kind of, if there's a financial hit happening due to not enough subscribers to Game Pass, and that's why they're cutting studios as well.
Yeah, but
I
so
don't know.
I mean, what boggles my mind, and I've sat on this for 2 weeks now, right? Like I've been mulling all of this over and looking at all this kind of stuff and reading into like what they've done and how they've tried to fucking wordsmith themselves out of this, right? And I forgot her name, the head of Xbox right now. She why can I not find her name? If one of you guys can find it while I'm looking at this, I cannot remember her name. But she goes out, and in the midst of all of this, she sits there and goes, well, we're looking at somebody asked them directly, being like, what are you guys doing? Like, what is the vision here? What was the plan for this? And they're like, well, we want to focus in on
Jamie Letter.
Yes, thank you. Jamie Letter comes out and is talking about how she wants to focus in on like the mobile side, and they're about to launch, like, dodges the question completely and goes into this whole like mobile store fucking platform bullshit or whatever else, and how that's a market that they want to go into. But then you look at like, okay, cool. If that's your play, well, Alpha Dog Games does mobile games. You shut them the fuck down. So that doesn't answer that. Then you talk about somebody else was like, oh, well, Matt Booty comes out and talks about how it was like, oh, well, we're gonna, again, like Enigma said, we're consolidating to make smaller games. Well, you shut down Tango Gameworks. That doesn't do that. Does this basically say like, hey, if you release a game and it's not a fucking hit, you're gonna get axed? Like, what does this say to all of your other, companies that you own, like Obsidian? What does this say to Obsidian? Like, if you were, or
I mean,
Avowed, like if you don't really, if Avowed doesn't hit, are y'all gone? Like,
if Obsidian, I think that if Obsidian doesn't come out banging with this new, what is it called?
Avowed.
What's their new one? Avowed. Because we've talked about Avowed, like the first like gameplay trailer or whatever it was that they released. Rough. It was rough. It looked really bad, dude. So I would, if I was them, I would be extremely worried about it too. And then we're talking about money, and we're talking about the Game Pass, the subscribe. Microsoft is valued at $3 trillion fucking dollars. $3 trillion fucking dollars. Like, are you kidding me? You're going to tell me right now that I get, we all have, like, companies have fucking people they got to answer to, board, stockholders, they were net positive on their games by 37% over last quarter. Are you fucking kidding me? Go fuck yourselves. Every single one of y'all can go fuck yourselves. Seriously. Go ahead.
Also, I apologize. It's Sarah
yeah, you guys.
Not Jamie Letter.
Sarah Bonds. That's it.
Sarah
Sorry.
Bonds.
Sarah Bonds.
But yeah, and it goes. I want to see the Xbox Game Pass numbers. The only thing that I can think of that would make these kind of things, especially after a massive acquisition, that they have always said, or at least Phil Spencer's always said, that they do not plan on. They're not purchasing to shrink the industry. They're purchasing to benefit the industry. And this goes directly against that. I would love to see Game Pass numbers and see if Game Pass is even profitable for Microsoft at this point.
And I'm wondering if it is to do with Game Pass, because I can't think of any other reason.
I can tell you exactly. It's you have Xbox over here doing one thing, right? Xbox is saying this one thing, and then you have Microsoft, right? You've got the Big Daddy. Yeah. You have Big Daddy Microsoft, and the fucking head of Microsoft, the Eye of Sauron, came down and said, "We just spent $69 billion." Right? Somebody over Sarah Bond should have slapped the motherfucker in the face and said, $3 trillion. Shut up. Like, go away. $3 trillion. You can fucking spare. You don't wipe your ass with $69 billion, dude. You like that's chump change. Go away. But Microsoft said, I just spent $69 billion. And now they're going, what the fuck? Right? Like, you better shit better add up. And Xbox is over here going, hey guys, Game Pass, we're gonna meet you where we're at. Like Phil's out there going, we're gonna meet you where we're at. We're gonna meet you where you're at. We're gonna meet you where you're at. And apparently where you're at is in the unemployment line, because they, you know, and also like, why did they not go to the Toys for Bob? Why did they just release them? Be like, hey, you know what? Arcane Studio, Arcane, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna sell, like, not sell you off, but whatever, like, you can become your own thing. They did it with Toys for Bob. They let them go, right? Like Toys for Bob got let to go do their own thing. They didn't get shut down. They got released.
You want to know why? I can tell you exactly why. Because they want the IPs.
Yeah,
and if they let them go, the IPs go with them. So by doing this, they can maintain Evil Within. They can maintain Hi-Fi Rush.
I don't know
and
why
they
they
can
want to
make
keep
it works.
Redfall.
those
That- yeah,
franchises
I was about to say,
forward.
that works for for Hi-Fi Rush, but like Redfall and Arcane, that doesn't really necessarily work because they still own Arcane. It's just Arcane Austin. So I don't know, man. It makes no sense. Again, Arcane, I understand from a business point, right? Like they've not been performing very well. Hi-Fi
Austin.
Rush, I don't.
mean, I
Arcane
don't see
Austin.
it. I still don't see it from a business point because Redfall was in production before. Redfall was in production before the Bethesda purchase, or was this the first?
This is the
game
first one.
that-
This is the first
okay.
one.
First one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. It's still.
But
Does
does
it?
It's still
does
shitty.
it? I mean,
It's
it's, a
not-
one.
still
It's a
shitty.
fucking
Yeah.
one and done. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's a one and done, and Phil Spencer admitted wholeheartedly that they were way too hands off with that project. So
Yeah.
he took the blame for it, but that studio still got punished. Even though Microsoft, as you said, they're how much trillion? $3 trillion?
$3 trillion.
They
Yeah.
have the money to supplement these studios better than any corporation almost on the planet. They have the backing to make it so that these studios should be able to thrive. If they can't thrive under that kind of a backing, then what can they do?
And also,
mean-
what is it? What does it say to a developer? Like I said, to just be like, if your game flops right now, you're fucking done. And what would it look like if they would have come out and said, hey, you know what? Our bad. We're gonna make this right, but also it's not on y'all. Like, we're gonna take onus. Arcane, fix your shit, right? You've got everything that you need to fix it. Go fix it, make it right. And you know what? We've got the next one. I get that you can't just have a studio pumping out bullshit. Like, I get that. I 100%
Right.
understand. But at the same time, you can't just expect like that you can, you know, I don't know. Like, I look at it like trading a dog. You can't just expect that, you say, hey, don't piss on the floor. They piss on the floor. And then you're like, all right, that's it. Old Yeller time. Like, holy fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
they got Fallout 76, and that game was a shit show when it launched. You know, and they got. I mean, I know they launched before the acquisition, but still, they are still going and supporting them with Fallout 76. They could have easily done that with Redfall.
yeah, this is just, I don't know, man. Like, it really, like, this was the kicker, and then it just seemed to everything else continued just to go downhill.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed.
I just hate seeing acquisitions that are shrinking the industry actively. Like, not only was these studios being purchased up going to shrink how many players can get these games, but now they have effectively cut off any, like, whatever future those companies held, whether it was good, bad, ugly. We will never know.
Yeah, and also
that sucks worse than anything because the industry just got smaller because Microsoft wanted to save a buck.
I feel like we got. I as consumers, I feel like we got duped. Like, and
Do you feel like these studios would have been better off without the acquisition, or do you like? Because I know ZeniMax was saying that they were struggling prior to acquisition, financially, but
I
do
just
you think these kinds of cuts would have happened
I
regardless?
think that with at least with Arcane Austin, if they hadn't picked up Arcane, granted, I can't say with 100% certainty, but again, the last banger that Arcane Austin put out with Prey back in whenever Prey released, I can't
17.
remember, 17, and then to come out with this with Redfall, regardless if they had support from Microsoft or not, I think that if Austin was still being owned, or if Arcane was just themselves, they might have very well been on the chopping block regardless. So I don't know. Maybe maybe not.
I mean, I think they would have had a better chance.
Because like your analogy of like training a dog, that has nothing to do with it. Like that's like training your dog for years and years and years, and the dog does really well, and then all of a sudden it just releases a shit show. You know, granted, yeah, it's a shitty thing to do. Again, I'm not stating that it's a good thing. I've never stated that it's a fucking shitty thing for Xbox to do. But I can understand where they're coming from a business point. You know, that's just my point of view.
I don't.
I get what you're saying about the business thing. As a gamer, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I'm a gamer too.
Like, but I don't give a fuck about the business.
I can look at it as a business aspect.
It's still, but we're still losing games. We're losing potential games.
Yeah, again, I'm not stating it's a good thing.
From them making business decisions, we only lose.
Yeah, but
again, I'm not stating it's a good thing. I'm just stating I can see from a business point of view, they failed miserably. What's the next step? Yeah, granted, they could put a ton of money into it, but then you're going to have to go to, you know, again, we stated that Microsoft, it's not Xbox, it's Microsoft that has the $3 trillion, right? They're going to have to go to Xbox, Phil's going to have to go to Microsoft and be like, hey, I know they haven't released an update in a year and it released pretty piss poorly. Can I get a couple billion to try and figure this shit out?
Yeah,
right?
so
like,
I agree with you to a point of but at the same time, as if like, I will give them carte blanche, okay, on Arcane Austin if we get to see. I want the documentation showing how much input did Microsoft give, how much coaching and development did Microsoft do, like were they actually hands on?
They didn't do anything. We already know that they didn't do anything with that because it was their first acquisition with them. So we already know that they blew the fucking coop on that one. They kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
And also
hard,
too, like, just, you know, like, I don't know, man. There's so many other ways that you could have taken this and moved it into different and just like.
I
keep going. Sorry. Go ahead.
They could have went the Square Enix approach with the Forspoken studio, where they just consolidate everybody back into the company, spread them out, be like, hey, you're not to be working on your own, but we still want the talent because we recognize that there's talent there, like they did with the one studio that
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I wonder why they brought Roadhouse's developers in the fold, but cut everybody else loose. That it's.
I mean, there were a few from Arcane Austin that did get absorbed
because Roadhouse was already working with ZeniMax pretty heavily already, so it made sense to push them over. ZeniMax came out and stated that up front. They were like, yeah, the reason why they came over to us is because we had already been working with them pretty exclusively, so it made sense. And we already had an issue with like not having enough people to work on certain things, right? To dial back just really quickly, and then this is the last thing I'm going to say about Arcane Austin because I feel like I'm just going back and forth on this. To dial it back, I understand what you're saying when it comes down to like I want to see how much hands-on Xbox had with them, but at the same time, it's Arcane Austin. They're not a new fucking studio. I don't really feel like Xbox needed to have their hands on their shoulders, being like, hey. You gonna put that update out, buddy? Hey, you gonna fix that game, buddy? I think that
after a bad launch,
part of the responsibility of an
no, this is before. This is before. This is before. Like I misspoke that. I feel like them having their shoulders on them for the entire development cycle prior to that release for Redfall, they shouldn't have had to do that. That's ridiculous to me. Arcane Austin should not have had a babysitter the entire time they were.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying you had to have a babysitter, but you. I mean, if you spent however much money, because that was during the Bethesda, so that was $7 billion. You spend $7 billion on something, you're not just gonna be like, meh. I'm gonna guess it's okay. It's doing all right. Like y'all did okay the first time. Like you guys are fine. Like there no check-ins there, and then a dumpster fire gets launched. You admit to fucking owning up, being like, "Hey, this is our fault," and then I guarantee you never showed your face again and never did anything because the original plan was to shut them down. Like the plan was Redfall sucked. We're shutting it down. Fuck it. Like some PR person said, "Phil, go out there, make good," and somebody back behind the doors were going, "We're slitting their throat." And that's it. And they never got touched.
No, that was a stupid move on Phil's part. Personally, I don't think he ever should have come out and been like, "Yeah, that was our fault."
On that one.
That was a terrible decision.
And I don't think we have the article here, but he's paying for it in Fallout 76 because the
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker's base is getting nuked left and right. So, and good
he
on him.
somehow managed to get the nuke codes himself though through all of
Yeah.
that bullshit.
Yeah,
But
he
Yeah.
went and did the
new quest.
enclave the quest.
I
Yeah.
just, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Like, this is, and you guys are going to, the chat, you'll see as we continue to move through the news, like, it's just going to continue, right? I canceled my Game Pass subscription. I'm not supporting this type of behavior. Like, I know this is crazy, or whatever else. And you can think, but I don't know, man, like, this has soured my taste. Like, I have no faith in fucking what they were going to do with Blizzard. I have no faith now in Microsoft and what they're going to do with, this acquisition with Activision. And to be 100% honest, like, I have no faith in them acquiring another fucking studio. Like, I have, I don't know, man. Like, I want to apologize to all the everybody that, like, I was like, hey, like, I'm shouting, touting Microsoft from the top of the fucking mountain. I don't know, man. I feel like I got duped.
I think I think that's justified though. I think it is about time we start showing these bigger corporations kind of like what we do, because I mean, I'm not going to say it because I know we're going to talk about it here, but also what happened with the Sony Helldivers stuff.
Look
with
at
the
Scruffy
community
becoming a little
putting together.
transition man.
But before we transition into that, are we going to want to talk about the good that they're possibly going to be doing as well?
We'll end the show with the good. We'll end the
Okay.
show with the good.
Okay.
We'll end the show with the good. But yeah, so Sony Helldivers, Helldivers 2,
Mhm.
right?
Fuck you, Sony. By the way,
Yeah, Enigma. I'm
Fuck
gonna let you
you,
take.
Sony.
I'm gonna let you take this. one.
Fuck you, Sony, bro. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, man. You're heated about Microsoft. I'm heated about Sony. That's not a big surprise, though. I'm always heated about Sony. I don't know why that's anything new, but yeah. This was 2 weeks ago, so we should have reported on this last week, but we didn't have an episode, obviously. So this is kind of old news. It's still slightly in the news articles though, because we're still seeing stuff that's coming up with the addition of
Still banned in a bunch of countries.
Yeah, the Ghost
That's
of
what I was
Tsushima
gonna
launch.
say. It's still
But
region locked.
So if you've been living under a fucking rock in the gaming world, you will have not heard about the fact that Sony tried to pull a fast one on PC players. Well, not really a fast one. Again, people, you'll say what you want, like
straight up lying.
Yeah.
You'll
And
you'll hear a
stealing.
lot of people say that it was in there beforehand and it was a requirement beforehand.
No.
It was there. It wasn't a requirement though. They did not make it a requirement when you logged into the game. I played from the day that it launched. When you logged into the game, there was a PSN account login. And it had a skip. It had just a straight skip. Never fucking stated anything as to if this was going to be coming back. So if you guys want to know what happened, Sony tried to force that PlayStation Network login onto Helldivers that had already been playing the game for 3 months. People that had already been playing the game without a PlayStation login for 3 months, they had the ulterior motive, or the what's the word I'm looking
Ultimatum.
for? The ultimatum of either signing up for a PlayStation account or not
refunding.
having access to your game. No, not even refunding, just not having access to your game.
I believe one of the PRs that got fired
After.
was just like
After,
was just like,
after
just
that.
refund it then.
The original ultimatum was you
Yeah.
either sign up for a PlayStation account or you no longer have access to playing.
Which, by the way,
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers
That
is
was
an
the original.
online only game. Like, again,
Online
you can
only game.
only play
Yeah.
this online.
So that's it. That it rubbed people, to say the least, it rubbed people the wrong way. Extremely, for good reason. Obviously, again, the reason why I was so pissed off about it was for one, it was shoehorned in 3 months after release. That's fucked up.
Without anyone.
There was no real
And
communication
that's also on Arrowhead for that too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There was no real communication from
Yeah.
Arrowhead as to it being a requirement later on, and they came out and stated that basically, hey, that was our fuck up. We should have came out and been a little bit more, transparent with its requirements. Yeah,
for sure.
but after that, so we went through an entire weekend of just people just being irate, right? We had content creators like Pirate Software. We had content creators like Asmongold that were making videos about it, and shocked and behold, lo and behold, shocker to everybody, the community that has come together to do the inevitable, the hardest thing possible, killing 2 billion or 2 million fucking bugs a week in less than a week actually. Basically in 2 days dropped the score for Steam. The review bombed it from mostly positive, I think, or at least positive.
It was positive, yeah.
To mostly negative. I think
Yeah.
it was like at the end of it was like 300 and something, like almost 400,000 reviews.
The chart was severe. The drop.
The drop was like whoop, the first day, and then
Yeah.
whoop, the second day, and then kind of a whoop on the third day.
Oh yeah.
So that was what happened with Helldivers. Luckily, I guess you can say luckily, Sony went
Luckily.
back on Sony went back on the requirement for now. A lot of people are basically stating
Partially.
this is just them basically doing a fast one on people, and I kind of agree. I tend to kind of agree. They went back on the PSN, the PlayStation Network requirement for login for now. Again, I don't know how long that's going to last, but
like we said, it's still region locked. Like the
yeah,
game
that's what I was going to get
purchase.
to.
Now you can still play it in the regions that it's locked. You just can't purchase it. That's the only thing.
Is that true?
That is true.
That is
'Cause
true.
I've-
Yeah,
okay.
if you
If you
still
own
have
it-
access to the game, if you didn't refund
So
it,
if you've already bought it,
If you own it, you can play it,
Okay.
but it will
It
not
is-
be up for purchase in those.
It is
regions
gone.
anymore.
Yeah, it is gone, and they're adding the fucked up thing is they're adding countries still. So like I think the other day they added another 7 countries or something
So
like
they're
that.
locking more countries.
Yeah,
is what you're
they're
saying.
locking more
Wow.
countries. They also unlocked new countries. I think yesterday they unlocked Samoa, I think, and a couple of other outlying like
So
regions in
that's
the
what
United
that's
States.
like. What gets me is like that it's still locked in those countries, and
Yeah,
like why I'm
it's-
still kind of wary
it's
about this whole
fucked,
thing. I'm
dude.
like,
So-
there's still something going on that we just
So
don't know.
I participated in the review bomb. I will be right up front with you. I put in a negative review. I stated that once the PlayStation Network account restriction was lifted, I would remove my negative review. I've done that. I'm kind of tempted to go and put it back until they unlock that unlock that region lock though, which is
I don't think
I
it's
don't
gonna
know.
happen.
That's
Man.
a lot of people are saying that it's not, but
Nope. Because the other reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because this is not the first time that this has occurred, not necessarily with Sony, but with other games, other developers and things of that nature, where it's kind of becoming norm for a lot of these countries where they have to VPN to get access
Yeah.
to either play. And are you
thing
sure
with-
that they
and
can
I'm
play?
sure-
Because I heard they couldn't. They still.
I've heard
couldn't
other
play.
stuff as well.
I
but
heard they could, but I could be mistaken. That's just from a few
I could
sources I
as well.
found that.
Yeah.
But
They-
also with the VPNs, I mean, with most cases, that is a bannable offense though as well, and
It is,
specifically
yeah.
with PSN, it is for
Which-
100%.
Also, just as a note, apparently people are getting banned for unlinking their PlayStation Network.
Just unlinking it.
Just
Is that
unlinking
confirmed?
it. Yeah, that is confirmed. There's multiple people that
Wow.
are getting banned just for unlinking it from PlayStation Network. They're getting a ban, and then they're having to go to Arrowhead, and Arrowhead's like, "Hey, we can't do anything. You're gonna have to go to Sony. Essentially, we'll
and good luck
pass this
there.
up to Sony."
Good fucking
So,
luck there, Jesus.
I have heard that they have been getting unbanned for it, but it is happening. They are getting banned for unlinking their
Jeez.
account from the PlayStation Network if they've already linked it. On top of that, just to kind of add on to that, and as an added benefit, if you like Ghost of Tsushima and you wanted to play it on PlayStation, they came out and stated that basically, hey, it's not going to have a PlayStation Network requirement for online or for offline play for single player play, right? It will have a requirement for online play. Their little like whatever it is, the PvP that they added, and I'm not even really sure what that is. I haven't been following.
It's not
much.
PvP. It's a co-op roguelike.
Is it co-op? Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was like a PvP of some sort.
Mm-mm.
But they will require PlayStation Network for that co-op or that online play. But they're also banning the sale of Ghost of Tsushima in those
That's
same
still
countries
region
now.
locked,
Well,
yeah.
that's from. I don't think that's Steam though. That is that's like
No, that's PlayStation.
GOG. No. I'm saying, but like
No,
Green Man.
that's PlayStation as well on Steam. Yes.
I
thought
thought it was Green Man Gaming and places like that were making it so
No.
that they.
It's
I thought I heard
PlayStation.
it was on
It's
Steam.
PlayStation and Steam as well.
as well, yeah.
Because Steam actually started refunding for people in those countries recently.
Oh.
It basically came out with a statement stating that this was not them because a
Was
lot
it
of
then-
a lot of
I guess those
a lot of,
sellers are what kicked this off, because I know that Green Man Gaming was like one of the big ones that started this with like them basically saying we're
I
not
haven't
selling
heard
your
anything
game.
about Green Man Gaming. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Green Man Gaming, but I do know for a fact that yes, Steam, they have locked it and they have put that requirement in, and Steam is offering for people that have pre-ordered it, they're offering those refunds.
Like,
So
I don't like someone. Okay, so,
Yeah.
So in chat, it was like I'm so fucking frustrated. Oh, okay. So someone in chat was just saying about like, we're gamers and we're not in charge of these companies, right? But this isn't, and I will give outs to we're 4 people, right? We're four guys that game, and we host a podcast that talks about the industry, right? But that's that's your market. That's your fucking market audience, right? So I guarantee, like, the 4 of us are not solo, the only people that are feeling like this. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand.
Over 200,000 people were not happy about it. So
But like, who in the fuck are making these decisions? Like, somebody somewhere needs to answer for this. Like, this whole thing has made me honestly really hate this industry that we're in right now. Because you know what it harkens back to? You know what it reminds me of? I mean, I wasn't alive during this, but I'm telling you right now, there was a huge fallout of gaming back in like the late 80s, after, gaming, came onto the scene. You had the NES, you had all that kind of stuff, and it just got flooded with shit. Right. And then shut up. And then the market crashed. No, I wasn't alive, asshole. And then the market crashed, and nobody wanted to fucking touch gaming at all. Right. You saw things like Atari, you saw all this other kind of crap that came out, and nobody wanted to fucking touch any of it because it was too toxic. And I'm telling you right now, that is what we're fucking getting. Everybody is just throwing shit anywhere and everywhere they possibly can, all to try to make $1 and try to make the biggest bang for their buck, right? And
well, it's not just that. It's also the fact that these like Microsoft, like Sony, like Ubisoft, all these big companies, they've gotten to the point where I think that they've gotten away with enough of this shit that they just feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want to. The Helldivers move was a really ballsy move, in my opinion.
I mean, all this
maybe that's just me.
And it doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. I think the only reason that they tried to push it like they did is because they're trying to win back favor with investors after they
trying to inflate those numbers.
For sure.
Yeah, they're trying to inflate PlayStation Network numbers and appease investors that are probably not super happy with them due to the fact that they don't have any first-party titles coming out this year.
Yeah. And one thing I can't say before, and this will probably, I can't promise this will be the last thing I say about it, but I'll try and make it the last thing I say about it. For all those people that were like, "Hey, it's just an account, just do it." Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bro.
You're not thinking
like
of
it's not just the account. There's a whole entire fucking cake. Let's just go with the cake layering, right? There's an entire cake of bullshit that we had to deal with that whole thing. The fucking PSN account was about this big of a layer, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
And if they would have done a day 1 launch, then just linking
I don't think people
would have
had
been
any
a
issues.
reasonable argument.
Yeah.
Like, there would still be people that didn't play it because they don't want to support Sony in that regard.
And at least
that would have been cleared up,
Well, at least at that point as well, you wouldn't have been selling to people that were not actually able to play your game. Like that's the one of the biggest issues that people had with it is like you've 3 months into this, you've sold it to countries that have no access to PlayStation Network, and now you're telling them, hey, you've got to sign up for a PlayStation Network account. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to do it.
Yeah. And I think the cherry on top of all of this, and people are saying like, oh, just do it, is that for the last, I don't know, I mean, honestly, for a while now, a couple of years, it's not even just been this couple of weeks, right? Years. We have gamers have been beaten up, broken, busted, taken advantage of, lied to. I mean, it's just over and over and over again. And then, and it's at the complete just, well, you know what? We fucked up. We don't care. We're going to fuck up again, and you're going to fucking deal with it. And too bad, so sad. Yeah. And then, and honestly, I told you nobody was going to be safe during this podcast. I'm also going to put blame on gamers, like us as a whole. You guys out there in the audience, you guys want to flame me? Come flame me. because we sit here and we fucking accept it, and we sit here and we go, it's okay. We say, hey, I guarantee you right now, we're gonna talk about Assassin's Creed. I guarantee you that somebody is gonna spend $130 fucking on that version of that game, and that's bullshit. I guarantee, like, I'm just as much of a problem. Look at my back wall. I got a fucking wall of fucking Diablo 4 shit. Yes, I am also a part of the problem. Like, it is ridiculous. And then on top of that, we stifle innovation. We continue to and you're going to hear this will have a topic when we talk about games that we're playing. We continuously keep comparing other games to other games and shitting on them because they're not this and they're not that. So then what do we get? We continuously get the remakes and the garbage and the continuation of fucking Call of Duty and all the other we don't get anything fucking new. Nobody's out there talking about amazing games anymore. We're just talking about, when can I get the next fucking Call of Duty? When can I get the next Madden? When's the next FIFA coming out? When
and then when we do get an amazing game from a relatively unknown fucking developer, Microsoft shuts them down because they're not small enough.
You know what too? The crazy thing about that, I don't mean to go backward. Hi-Fi Rush they were pitching, Tango Gameworks was pitching Hi-Fi Rush 2. Like they were in the middle of it came out, they were in the middle of the fucking pitch. Not like getting the pitch together, not talking about going, they were in the fucking middle of the pitch, and they got notified via text message that their studio was getting shut down in the middle of a pitch. Go fuck yourselves with a hot rod iron, bro. Like, seriously, that's fucking trash. I am, dude.
Okay.
I'm fucking, dude. I'm so fucking livid, man. It's just been shit after shit after shit, and there's not a company that's safe, because also we got EA. They fucking decide they want to go fucking put ads in their games. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go the other way. Let's go fucking put ads into our goddamn AAA games. Like, bro,
So just really quick, this doesnesn't surprise me because they've already tried it once. So like it's not a shocker that they're doing it again.
Tried to do
Battlefield 2042 or whatever it was, not 2142, whatever the first one was. They had billboards and shit inside of it that had like advertisements on them. And that was the first time that any game really has ever done that.
Funny.
Yeah, that was back in like 2016 or something like that, like 2015 sometime there, and they got lambasted for it, dude. They got thrown through the ringer with that when they did that because it was dumb. You're sitting there playing the game. You're not looking at a fucking billboard that's advertising Coca-Cola, right? It's not like I'm like, boo, 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 boo. Oh, hey, I should get a Coca-Cola. That's actually really good. No,
so
nobody
I'm
does
that.
About
is the way they're going to be implementing these ads. Like, are we
you
talking
remember,
pop-ups? Are we talking?
You remember Ubisoft did it?
That's what I was thinking of.
The bug that happened in Assassin's Creed. The thing came up. I guarantee that's exactly what'll happen. Guarantee
exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about with this. And that's such an EA thing to do as well. It is,
yeah, and it's shitty.
It is.
I don't understand EA, dude. Like whoever's making decisions over at EA.
But
y'all need to fire that motherfucker.
It's all of them.
I remember very specifically Sony Death Stranding having Monster Energy ads in their game with Norman Reedus going up, giving the little pose to the camera, clicking it open, drinking it.
Like this is
just fourth wall breaking shit.
You know what? And you know what? And again, like I said, gamers, you're in my fucking sights too. You know what the ignorant ass comments were? Well, you get them like it's just been common practice in fucking FIFA and Madden and all the sports games. Like you just see the ads right there. So why is it any different than fucking being in your first person shooter? Why do I have to deal with it if you or whatever? I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
It's just like the idiots that were like, it's just an account, bro. It takes like 2 minutes. Just sign up for it.
Why should any of us have to deal with it? It's not right at all.
Just mark my words.
Or why are the games still $70?
Yeah,
with them forcing ads on us as well.
Yeah.
What I want to know too is where has this ever worked out for anybody? What company has ever been like, hey, more ads? It's great. People are going to fucking love it. Right. Like, again, I know this is about the diamond dollar. This is about your stockholders. Right. But if the whole inverse of all of this is that if you make good games and you make things that are, people want to buy and spend money on, your stock prices go up, which means your stockholders make more money. Like,
what I'm foreseeing right now is I'm seeing ad block mods coming out for games in the future.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
It's,
oh my
I wouldn't
God.
doubt
If
it,
I have
dude.
to install a fucking U blocker in my
U-block
game,
Origin.
just- oh
that's the
my
way we're
God.
going.
You
Yeah,
you block EA Play, you block
Yeah.
Steam.
I fucking hope I'm wrong because we have predicted so much shit that's right. I swear I hope I'm
Oh
wrong
my
with this,
God.
but mark my words that part of EA Access, All Origin, All Access, EA Play, Ubisoft,
Yeah.
fucking whatever, bullshit,
Remove
Game
ads.
Pass, PSN Plus, next level, will have something that says remove ads from your games.
Yeah.
I will personally fly to
They have
each
Twitch
fucking
Turbo.
developer and punch them, whoever the owner is that made it, and punch them square in the mouth.
In game.
No, fuck that in real life. Fuck that. I will go there and
Sin's
punch them
making
straight in their
threats.
fucking face. Like, this is
Tomorrow,
bullshit.
Sid's
I'll
gonna
punch,
get fired
I'll
from
punch
his
both
job.
of the
I
Sony
know.
CEOs in their face, dude. They
Sin's
fucking
gonna get
fired
walked
Jim
out
Ryan
the
and
door
hired
in
two of them.
handcuffs.
God damn it, man. Like,
Sid's gonna get pulled into the HR department tomorrow and be like, "Hey, was this you last night on this podcast saying that you wanted to punch the CEO of Sony in the face?"
oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
probably
It's
not
not
a
just
good thing
one.
to be
Not just- I
saying.
don't want to just punch one. I want to punch both of them. Both of them,
love
because
it.
that's
I've
also fucking
seen-
stupid.
I've seen this meme so many times. It's like you and the boys decide to start a podcast, and then it just clips to like Michael Sarah and Jonah Hill getting walked out in handcuffs. Like that was it. Round one, boys, we're done. That's
just-
it's
It's
like this podcast.
I'm just so sick and tired of being quiet and like sitting. I mean, I've never been quiet, but like just sitting here and
I was
just
about to say, when have you ever
Yeah.
been quiet?
accepting that this is just okay. Like this is the time right now that we've all, like, people in chat, we're all saying it, like, vote with your wallet. I'm serious. This is not a time to be like, hey, like, and as a whale, this is very hard because my nature is to fucking whale out. My nature is to like
Right.
open my card, open my bank account and say, yep, take my money, please, because I want this, right? Ghost of Tsushima, I 100%
Yeah.
intended to buy day one,
So did I.
right? And I have
Yeah.
not purchased it.
And I was actually extremely happy when they came out and said that they were not going to require the EA account for the single player, because that was after the whole
PSN
debacle
account, by the
with, or that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Same
PSN
thing.
account, same thing. But yeah, I was extremely worried about that because I was like, after the whole Helldivers debacle, I was like, that comes up to that came up in my radar. I was like,
It's a
well,
worry, yeah.
that's a Sony game, or am I gonna have to do that? At least at that point, it would have been day one. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
And then like and
Also, before you go punching the Sony CEOs, they haven't even taken like official office
I don't give a fuck.
yet.
This is Jim Ryan.
They
This
start
is
June 1st.
this is remnants of Jim Ryan. If you want to punch anybody, go punch him.
Fuck, I'm punching them all, man. I'll just line them all right in alphabetical order.
He's gonna be he's gonna you remember that meme of the guy that was the slapping
Slapping
people?
all the kids at the
they-
party.
He's
Like-
just gonna go through that.
You know what? You want me to spend $130 on your game? Don't give me a day one fucking content patch season pass. You give me the ability to punch them straight in their nads or their throat or whatever. I will fucking spend my money every single day to go do that. Like and again, not to get away from EA because so EA, I've been excited about NCAA 2025. Like dude, I'm a college football fan. The NCAA has not been out.
Not judging.
Has not. Yeah. Don't get in my crosshair, Bill. Has not been out for 10 years.
He'll start punching you too.
I'll start punching you.
Just pops up in the background.
But this has been 10 years that we have waited for a game, and we have the community has asked for it, and we are finally getting it. And it was like, hey, EA comes out, like, yep, we're bringing it out to everything. You're going to get it on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, right? We knew that it was going to be this generation console because they didn't want to put it on, fine, whatever else. They have been preaching that day in and day out, that it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. Today, they announced, it's only going to come to PlayStation and Xbox. Like, fuck PC users. Go fuck yourselves. And then on top of that, they also want to charge I think it's I gotta go look at it. I'm gonna say it's definitely more than $120 or $130 for a deluxe edition or a special deluxe edition or whatever else that gives you the version, the NCAA 2025
But does
and
it
then
come with a season pass
and Madden 2024. It comes with like a bunch
content.
it comes with a bunch of
content.
content that's I mean, it comes with a bunch of like it's not content that's locked behind it, but it's like
$150 for the MVP edition.
Yep.
Which what do we got here? 3-day early access, which I'm so tired that
I
is being
hate that
Yeah.
shit.
shoehorned
That's like the
into
new
these deluxe
standard in
editions.
these- yeah,
it used to be a
exactly.
pre-order
Ugh.
bonus. Now it's a deluxe edition thing, and it's not even like the cheaper deluxe edition. It's always the big boy one.
Yep.
So 3-day early access, and everything in the deluxe edition, on top of that. So it seems like that's really the only.
Well, all
things
the
they added.
all the stuff is like, I think you get the extra, you get Madden. I know that. I don't know if you get that with the deluxe edition. I think you get,
Oh yeah, you get Madden 25 and College Football 25. Yes.
By,
Ultimate
by the way,
Teams.
it's not 3-day early access. It's just the ones who don't buy it are just getting the game 3 days late. That's the
3
actual
days late,
release
yeah.
date.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's how they
just
that's how they
this-
spin it.
You're
Yeah.
you're paying to play the game 3 days late.
Like,
Yeah. You're paying to play the game on time when it's supposed to release. So
That
everyone
is
who doesn't
wild,
gets
though,
it 3 days late.
that they are valuing 3 days of early
Right.
access $50 above the next best edition, the deluxe edition.
Come on,
that
man.
is crazy.
Deluxe edition, $100. MVP, 150, and the only difference is that 3-day early access.
This guy gotta get that FOMO, bro. That's what
100%.
it is.
And
and
you know that these kinds of things are working because it's not just EA that's doing it,
Yeah.
and they
Oh, yeah,
continue
it's
to do
everyone.
it game after
It's
game after
Ubisoft.
game.
It's EA.
oh,
everyone.
let's talk about Ubisoft. Why don't we bring up Ubisoft? Fuck them. We're bringing them all in. They're fucking all getting looped into this motherfucker. So Ubisoft, right? Whether you love it or hate the idea of the division, the Heartland, right? We do have people that actually in our community that have played it. I mean, fuck it, the game's canceled now, so NDA or whatever, like none of
play
that
it
shit,
again.
none of that shit matters. Whereas like, hey, it's not bad. It's actually good. Like, it plays well. It's got some really cool like moments and it's good, right? It's not bad. It's in a very, very good state. Fuck it, it's gone. It's
Damn.
gone. Done. Can't fuck it. Forget it.
And you know what? Did I post it? The way they announced it too, they hit it within like text of I think something for like XDefiant or Rainbow Six Siege or something like that. They like hit it like, oh, we're gonna be more focusing on Rainbow Six Siege and XDefiant and our other titles, so we're gonna cancel Heartland, and that was it. Like, it was
Like-
just to be clear, Heartland was that like battle royale, like
It was
squad
it,
thing.
no, it was
It was
a, no,
the
it was a
extraction,
extraction shooter. It was the
Oh,
free to
the
play,
extraction, okay.
you were right,
free to
it
play,
was like
free to
an
play
extraction
extraction.
shooter.
Yeah,
originally.
free to play
yeah.
extraction shooter. I was looking
this
forward
is the
to
one
it.
where like they had like the airdropped barricade
No,
coming down in
no.
the trailer, right?
Well, no, that was another. That was you're thinking of the Ghost, like the Ubisoft Battle Royale game that they were making on their own. That's not this.
That is not this. Okay.
That's not this. No.
Okay.
And again, this is now like they have shut down 3 other unannounced games, including Project Q, which I think was that one, right? Immortals Phoenix Rising 2, which Immortal Phoenix Rising I think did well. Like again, I don't, and that's fine. Like if the game is
It
not
did
if-
okay.
if it doesn't make game busters, I don't think it needs to have a sequel, right? Or if it just did okay, it doesn't need to have a sequel. But then on top of that, they also canceled 4 other unannounced projects. Like here's my thing, and this is just what sums up all of this with all of these fucking developers. How about you take the time to make sure that what you are greenlighting is fucking something that the audience wants, that makes sense, and instead of just being like, oh, extraction shooters are hot, make an extraction shooter. Oh, battle royales are hot, make a fucking battle royale. Oh, MOBAs are hot, let's do MOBAs. Oh, MMOs are hot, let's do those. Like, how about you just actually do your fucking job? And because I don't know anywhere else that like where you can just suck. You can just suck at your job and still make okay. And not only that, suck at your job. People underneath you get fired and you get a bonus. Like, what the fuck how does that make any sense anywhere? Right. And you get to just kind of skate away with a smile on your face. Like, isn't the FTC and the fucking government supposed to step in and protect us from this kind of bullshit? Like, where the fuck does any of this happen? Like, God damn it, man. I'm so
I
fucking
am
pissed.
curious why we haven't heard anything from the FTC about the Xbox shutdowns and stuff, unless there's I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, I agree with you that this kind of stuff is getting way out of hand, especially with the green light process.
Yeah. I mean, it's and I guarantee you it's because somebody somewhere greased wheel. Like, I thought that all of this was altruistic, right? Which is, again, shame on me. I should have never thought that business people were going to be altruistic, right? But you had the poster child like Phil Spencer. You have all these people out there shouting great things. And, you know, we're going to now start moving into like the good stuff that came out, but it's still very hard to not be cynical about the information that's coming out. Like with what Microsoft announced, with saying like, hey, you know, we're going to go in and say, hey, here's, okay, I guess a bunch of ads in there's my email. So that's cool. Don't spam my shit. But a bunch
The
of
second time
I don't know why it does it. So you'll have to just block it out. It's fine. I don't give a fuck.
Gonna block
Anyway,
You know how hard it is to block.
it's fine. Whatever. Don't worry about it. But in any case, like Microsoft being like, oh, hey, here's more Xbox games that are coming to PS5. Go fuck yourself. Like, I don't know, man. How is it not just like, yeah, it's so hard to not be cynical and look at this and being like, you're just trying to I don't know. You're trying to make
this
fucking
also
money. Man.
hasn't been confirmed officially by
Yeah,
Xbox.
this
This is a
a rumor,
Windows
right?
Central article, and it's a rumored. Windows Central is the ones that brought it up, and apparently there's leaked PlayStation themes and PlayStation pages that show this stuff, but it's all rumor as of this point.
Like
So take it with a grain of salt. This could all be bullshit, like it was 3 months ago.
like if this was, but imagine if this was true. And imagine the stuff that happened last week never happened. Like, do you know how much good grace Xbox would be in? Like, how
Right.
much
They
would
would be following the script that they put out there whenever these acquisitions happened.
like.
You're right, because there was a huge
And it would be
uproar
great.
when
It would
Bethesda
be. It
was
would be
acquired.
the
because of
ultimate
Starfield.
good grace for the industry. They would be making good on Game Anywhere. We want to bring these games to more people. We're going to buy up these studios so that we can spread games across the scape better and become basically the largest third-party publisher around.
Yeah.
But until
no-
this is confirmed by Xbox, I'm cautiously optimistic because they need a W at this point, and I think this would be a
It'd be a
step in the right direction,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't justify
No,
the stuff
it-
that's happened in the past.
it doesn't
Also,
make.
doubling
doesn't right
back a
any
little
of the
bit,
wrongs.
like what has like I don't know how some of these companies haven't been like sued. Like FTC aside, I don't know how like Sony didn't get like a lawsuit on them for false advertising with the Helldiver situation or selling in countries that the game wasn't
they-
going to be allowed to.
I think they will be. Like
Yeah.
it's not over yet. Like it's not schmover right now, man. Like I'm pretty
They
sure
won't
that they're gonna get.
They won't see a fucking. They won't see the light of day
see
of a court.
anything. Yeah, the fucking Sony's got enough money that they can just bury that. But yeah,
And
that's,
that-
I mean,
that-
and that's probably why you don't see these types of things go anywhere. But I do know for a fact that there are a lot of people that are stating that we should do a class action lawsuit for Sony. The only thing that we have against Sony or that Sony has against us is the fact that technically, again, you can go off of hypothetical or not hypotheticals, whatever you want to call them. The requirement was there. It's just they didn't force it on you. Like it was
the
Right.
option. It wasn't a requirement. Is yeah.
So
But they
that's
still
that's
should
the
have never
biggest
sold it
thing,
in
but-
regions that didn't have access.
No,
to
they shouldn't
PSN.
have.
no,
Yeah.
Well,
that's the big hitter right there.
And
yeah.
and even if there's a class action lawsuit, you think Sony gives a shit? Sony goes, here, fuck it.
No.
Again, I don't care. It's a slap on the wrist. Who gives a shit? And they move on, right? Like Xbox,
Right.
if there's a class action lawsuit or a lawsuit against all this shit with the FTC, you know what's going on? They don't care. Like they've greased enough wheels. They've got enough money. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy that we as gamers, as consumers, have to go in game, blow up Phil Spencer's base, have to go nuke a fucking critic or scorer, a review bomb to get noticed at all, and it's not going to do anything. Like it's not going to change anything. It just isn't. Like I don't know, but like this again, this should be a moment. Like if this is true, a moment of like, oh, this is awesome. Like more games, more places. You know, again, because Microsoft has talked about it, and we just also had Square. Like Square comes out and says, hey, like no more multi-platform. Like we're going, or no more exclusive. We're going multi-platform. Like we're gonna start bringing these things out, you know, to multiple places, day in day out. And
So wasn't there some sort of uproar about this? People were getting upset that they are
Yeah.
going multi-platform. What was that? What was that about?
This was-
was that
fanboys
just-
being
was this just-
fanboys.
Yeah,
Fanboys?
fanboys
Okay.
being fanboys.
I'm
Somebody
like,
It's the
somebody
same thing
equated
with-
this
like, come
to
on, bro.
so somebody on Twitter equated this this was it this? I think it was this, right? The guy that
Was this-
equated it to slavery.
Is that what the?
Yeah,
this?
it
I
was.
think
I,
this was
can't
it, yeah.
remember the context.
Yeah,
What is
so
it?
there was
So
somebody
absurd.
on Twitter that was absurd, just a fucking. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you're this much of a fanboy, please take a step back and look at your life and try and reconsider some life decisions. Because Square Enix saying that we're no longer going to be strictly exclusive to PS5
Yeah.
should in never any instance be equated to slavery. Second class citizens. That is a ridiculous take. And if that is a serious take on your end, you need to look at your life
I
and
don't
make
even
better
think that was
decisions.
satire.
Yeah,
It's right
And
here. I found your
I've
tweet.
I've seen
He's-
similar things with the Xbox
Yeah,
exclusives
it's.
going.
I mean, it's
to
on both
PlayStation.
sides, man.
I've seen the fanboys raging out on that too, and the fact that it's happened like so close together, watching them just like deteriorate in unison is honestly hilarious.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous, man.
And what boggles
It
my
is.
mind is that you are fanboying and supporting a multi-billion and trillion-dollar company that gives two fucks about
They're
you.
They're never gonna do
zero
anything
shits
for
about
you.
Yeah.
They
At
don't
all.
even know that you exist. So why the fuck are you so adamant about defending these guys when they're doing things that are blatantly wrong? And again, I sit here and say this should be a happy moment, and it is trounced and wrapped in a layer of shit because the very
By
fucking
us.
line right here it says is that Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth didn't work out to the expectations of what Square Enix said. You locked it behind a fucking exclusivity and then expected it to do gangbusters, and it didn't. Release the shit on other consoles and other platforms, and it will do better.
I think Bill's game, that foam game, was in there too. If I'm not
Yeah,
Yeah,
Foam
Foam
mistaken.
Star
Stars
too.
was also mentioned. Yeah. So we'll see. This is it's great. I'm happy that Square Enix is finally going to bring Final Fantasy back to everybody again. It's been far too long. I think the reason that they thought this was going to be okay was because Final Fantasy 15 sold so well, and it still is like the #1 selling Final Fantasy game. But every game that they've put out after has been subpar at best sales wise, and it's Sony's wallet doesn't justify the end goal of them not being satisfied with
That-
what they're putting out there.
That's also a problem too, where
And it sucks too because the products are generally good. Like
yeah, Final Fantasy. I
Five,
mean, 16,
yeah.
great. Rebirth. I mean, it's not as good as what was the other one? Not Rebirth. What was it? The one before that.
remake.
Final Fantasy. So yeah, remake or whatever. But like, this goes to again
Or
a bigger
16.
issue of going like, hey, why not? Like you should not just assume that because you sold X amount of Final Fantasy 15 that you're just gonna automatically hit that number and go higher. Like you got to go higher. Like somebody somewhere, some number cruncher should be again slapped and been like, hey man, like you projected a fucking KPI that was way too high. Like that no, and so now I got to go to my boss and say, hey, we didn't hit our nut because you fucking crunched the numbers wrong, or you decided on a hunch that it was going to sell that. Like, why?
I'm
Why?
curious how they're factoring this stuff if they're going off of like total PlayStation 5s out there and then like expecting a certain percentage of those PS5s out there to also purchase the game. Like that would be the only thing that makes sense. But even then, what percentage are they trying to aim for? Since not everybody that buys a PS5 is going to be into action RPGs.
No, I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now that what they're doing is they're going out and saying, hey, this is how much the game costs to make. This is how much the game we need to recoup back. And not only recoup back, but this is the expectation that we're supposed to hit based on last year's projections. That is a common way that business happens. And in normal business, absolutely, right? If you look at anything else, right? Any other business in the world, fuck it. Like my kids, they mow grass. We can go, hey, you mowed this amount of grass last year. You did really, really well. Your business should grow X-fold. So you're going to be able to mow more lawns this year and whatever. And video games doesn't work like that. Shit changes. Things go up and down or whatever. So they looked at it and said, hey, we sold this amount of many of Final Fantasy 15. We should be able to sell that many plus X amount for Final Fantasy 16. Instead of going in and saying, hey, we're going to look at how much this costs, how many consoles are out there, and actually doing their fucking due diligence, they just assume that they're just going to rake it in. And it's ridiculous. That's absolutely asinine. And again, this comes with it wrapped in this, you know, I don't know, this bullshit of like, it didn't do as well. And then on top of that, they come out with this. I don't think we have it in the article that pulls up, but Sony, no, we do. Hold on.
We do.
So, where is it at? Is it this one? Yes. So then Sony fires back and says, oh, well, we're just letting you know that you're going to get a lot more exclusives. Like, you're still going to get exclusives. Like, what? Why fan? Like, I understand that you have to give a reason for people to want to buy your console. I get that. Like, I understand, right? But why then in turn fan the flames of this fanboyism of like, oh, well, don't worry, you guys, you're gonna get exclusives. You're gonna get more exclusives. Like, I don't fucking get it. I don't.
Because that's what Sony is built off of at this point. That's their MO. That's what they
I
do.
also want to
Have a good
redact
thing
one
without
statement
them
that I made.
Hitting it right back.
Final Fantasy 15 was the last multi-platform game that Square had put out prior to them going and doing this now. So I don't know if they were expecting the sales to stay comparable with Final Fantasy 15.
Well, and 15 released like right in the middle of the COVID thing, right?
15 was
Or
2016.
like the tail
so
end?
it was well ahead.
Okay, so that was ahead.
I
Yeah,
didn't think-
remake launched in the middle of COVID.
It
That
didn't
was it,
launch
okay.
day and day though, multi-plat, right? It only launched. I thought it was exclusive and then came to PC later.
No, it's full exclusive because it's on Xbox as well.
Day and day, like day one.
Let me double check, but I do believe so.
Okay, but
Let's see. Final
while
Fantasy 15,
he's checking that, like I mean,
Yeah.
Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Windows, and Google Stadia.
oh, okay.
Oh, that was one of
let's
the
see.
Stadias.
Release dates November 29th for PlayStation and Xbox, and then the
Okay.
Windows launch was 2 years later.
Yeah.
Like okay, well,
Good times.
I don't know. I just this
Again, that's just a Sony MO. I understand where they're coming from. That's how they keep their it doesn't make sense to me to being the kind of guy that I'm like I understand where you're coming from, where it's like if you would just release it on multiple platforms, you would make that money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
And to put it into perspective, that game sold 10,000 copies. Remake after the PC launch has sold 8,000, and Rebirth is way down.
I just don't know how they weigh like how they're
comparison.
going to sell more consoles for releasing this exclusive. That's
Wait.
there's got to be a bigger community on all of these other platforms that's going to outweigh those console sales to just game sales.
it doesn't
right?
matter, but they
They're
don't
just appeasing the fanboys. But the fanboys already own PlayStations and all that shit.
Again, this is where I will give the fuck, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I will give these corporations the out. We created these fucking monsters. All of the gamers back in the day that stood fast and said,
Yeah.
my box is better than your box, and
The
fuck
gamers started
you
the
because
console
you,
wars.
yeah, the console wars fucking did this. And this is the fallout that we are now having to live with, where you have these companies that so passionately have taken that banner and fly it back and forth and are still saying, hey, you need a reason why you need to
Listen,
own a PlayStation.
Can you Doctor Strange this and find any reality that we're not a part of this?
Yeah,
right
you know what?
now and
I can
that
tell
it's
you,
It's not a
better?
reality.
The multiverses where this all there is no one. You know where this all goes? We're racing to zero. Like we're
Yeah.
fucking plummeting to zero right now. Like this is these companies, like I don't know, man. Like if they don't get their heads out of their ass soon, it's done. Like I don't know where, because I don't even think indie devs will be able to survive. Because like I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the fuck happens to Steam. Like God bless him. I love Gabe Newell. That motherfucker's old. He ain't gonna survive forever. What happens to him when he's gone? Right?
Who's
Like
gonna
Steam
take
is
over?
Steam is the number one platform for indie games. You know, you just had Crow Country, you just had Animal Well. They're coming out with brave fucking reviews, right? But look at Balatro, look at Vampire Survivors. What happens when Gabe Newell's gone and whoever takes over there? Is he just gonna say fuck them? You know what I mean? Like, it's scary, man.
It's
Like,
going down.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hate to be doom and gloom this cast, but like, none of this shit is good. Like right now, like this is just.
And even the good stuff has a dark caveat to it, like
Yeah.
what we're showing here with the PlayStation
Right.
PlayStation stuff.
Right. Like you have one good thing and then PlayStation comes back and just shoves it in the ground. Like,
Right. And so am I
Yeah.
supposed to be, and you know what? Me and my brother just had a conversation about the NCAA thing being like, oh, I guess I got to go buy a console. Like, to, if I want to play that game, fuck that. I'm not going to buy a fucking
No.
console. I'm not going to go buy and support this.
that's
Like-
just more fuel to the fire.
Like so that dude that compared the exclusivity to one of the U.S. history's most fucking
second class citizens.
second class. Are you happy about this? Are you jumping up for joy because now you're gonna get
Yeah,
your
he is.
exclusives? So
Yeah,
everybody else gets
100%, I
fucked,
guarantee he
but
is.
you're happy. Congratulations, dude. Pat yourself on the back. You should fucking be ecstatic because you get what you want. But now the rest of us have to wait. I have to wait for Ghost of Tsushima. I'm supposed to wait. And then again, you have Sony being out there like, hey, we're gonna make. This whole PSN bullshit, locking stuff behind the having to have an account was supposed to be because we're maybe we're coming day and day with PC games. It doesn't matter anymore. Like,
Well,
man.
sorry, just to go back on that, like
So fucking
PlayStation's
pissed.
entire reason for doing that on Helldivers was supposedly because of security. If you know
okay,
PlayStation
sure.
and their security, no, that's
Yeah.
not why. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
no, that is not even close to being why.
Like,
Don't pull that
It's a
shit.
joke.
It's to up PSN numbers for investors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Call it
exactly
what it
that.
is. Semi good news is this PlayStation 5 exclusive Concord. Don't know anything about it, but it's going to be coming out day one on PC. So they're only a little bit behind on that.
I'm just
And if
I'm
Xbox does make good on Xbox exclusives coming over to PlayStation, then they're going to be another step behind. But they're at
Yeah.
least embracing the day one PC launch a little bit more. Which
I'm-
And the-
I'm
and
just
then
cur-
they'll
I'm
lock it
curious-
behind the PS
I'm curious-
Unlock.
I'm curious how much of that is to do with the fact that Concord was already a PC thing, though. I don't know. I agree with you 100%. It's
What
a
is
great
Concord?
thing that
Fucking
that's
hell.
the new one that they got, right? The
It's their
new IP
live
that they
service
bought.
fucking game. Yeah, I don't know.
You know about this already? I thought this.
Yeah, we've talked about it before in the past.
I don't know. I've
But yeah.
never heard about this. I think I've heard of it, but is it the one that the Bungie people they bought or no Firewalk Studios?
No,
I don't know, man. It's a live service game, and right now live service is in the shitter. Okay.
Okay.
but yeah. So shitty practices all around, man. I don't know.
Oh, and yeah, this is great. This is gonna come day and day to PC, but then it's gonna be blacklisted in countries that can't play it because
Yeah.
they can't get a PSN account.
They'll have a
So-
PlayStation Network login.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, we take one step forward and fucking 700 back. Like, this is, god damn it, man. I don't know. All right, well,
Maybe Concord was that one that was done by Bungie before. I can't remember.
I know it's being developed by Firewalk because it's in this thing, but I don't know what the fucking, I don't know what it is. I don't remember seeing anything. We'll report on it whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
looking at it
well,
right now.
let's talk about Assassin's Creed, I guess. That's a thing. Oh wait, I need to go to the video gameplay. Here we go. So what the fuck? Assassin's Creed Shadows dropped the trailer, and this is the next Assassin's Creed game, which is coming out November, right, of this year. I think November 15th.
Something like that. Yeah.
And at first, everyone
I
was
was
kind of
excited for it.
yeah,
man.
everybody was kind of
I was-
raving
yeah.
about it.
I watched it. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. And then the shit kind of hit the fan towards the end, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? What? It makes what? Huh? What?
Yeah,
And before we get into this, it has. This is such a weird instance that we're gonna have to like skirt around because I don't know. It's up to you guys. Do you want to talk about it? Because
Well, here's the thing. There's a controversy right now with the main protagonist, and
one of the main protagonists.
yeah,
It's
well,
a
one
two
of the yeah,
protagonists.
one of the main
Yeah.
protagonists that's in the game, and the validity of why and the bullshit that surrounds that. We're not going to go into all of it. It's just if it's out, if you want to go figure out what it like, look at it, you can go find it. It's out there, but there is some whys and questions and all this other kind of stuff about the main protagonist. But again, here's the thing. Like prior to that, nobody said shit, and everybody was just excited about the game. Like, why can't we just be excited about a fucking game? Why can't we have something good and be excited about it? It has to be draped in fucking shit. Like, again, the dumpster fire that is this fucking industry. Continue. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I'm still vaguely excited for it. Just because obviously it's an Assassin's Creed game and it's set in feudal Japan, which I don't know if you guys know this. I'm quite a fan of feudal Japan games.
He's a weeb.
I really enjoy like samurai themes.
Simple and
So-
sweet. He's a weeb.
But it's definitely one of those things where like I feel like it's hard for me to go around that. I feel like it has nothing to do with the character, and it has everything to do with a past like
History, like
history of what they've like tried to stick with the whole
right.
franchise, right? They've always been extremely historically accurate with these franchises to an extent. Obviously,
Up
We're-
until Origin. and
yeah, up
beyond.
until Origin, we're obviously we're in a fucking computer game. There's fucking you know, in Odyssey we had gods, we had shit like that, we had aliens and everything like that. So obviously they're not sticking strictly to a
Still
historical
fantasy-esque.
accuracy, right? But
Yeah,
like
you know.
to the extent of like where you were at, they put forward a lot of effort into making sure that like Odyssey was extremely well done when it came down to was Odyssey the Greek? I think it was. Origins
Yeah, Odyssey was the
yeah.
Greek one.
So they went to an extremely high detail of like Greek mythos, you know, Greece in general, everything. Yeah, Greece. Origins, the one previous to that, they did an extremely good job with no, not Africa. I'm blanking on it. Egypt, yes. They did an extremely good job with Egypt, everything like that. Even prior to that, right? Like all of the Assassin's Creed games have been extremely well done when it comes down to like historical accuracy. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in this game, and it does look like they did a really good job with it. It's just that little bit of that little misstep, that little bit of overstep, and everything like that. And you can state that yes, there were instances of it, but like if you're gonna go down that route. I don't know. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm still probably going to play it. I'm definitely not paying $130 fucking for it. For
I was
their
about to say
bullshit.
they're pissing everybody off on that one
Yeah.
too.
Their
Yep.
bullshit.
Just
They're
pulling
doing
that
the
shit
same.
again.
They're doing the same thing that we were just talking about earlier, where it's like you'll get
Star Wars
the
thing.
$130 fucking introductory, or not introductory, but the $130 fucking editions and everything like that. You'll get
Early
like
access,
you'll get like
pass,
early access,
I think some
like a special
content
quest or some shit like that.
or
Yeah,
something like
that makes no sense to me, man. And it's just Ubisoft. I don't know why they're continuing to do this. We were talking
making
in
the
the,
money.
Buy it.
that's what I was about to say.
people
We were
will buy
talking
it,
in the
though.
It has to
Discord.
be.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine that there's that many people paying for it, but apparently there is.
Oh,
I
there
don't
is.
know who's
But
doing
also,
it.
what's on there too is the access to all that with their EA Play or whatever.
Well, that's
edition.
that's the kicker that everybody like. Well,
That's-
not everybody, but
That's really where they're making their money, or where they want
right,
to
like,
make their
and
money.
they're pushing this as being like, hey, like, this is where you should buy the game, right? And
Yeah.
this is what you
'Cause
should.
you'll get all
should
of
do.
it. You'll get all of that for a cheaper rate. Just
Right,
subscribe
for-
to our monthly fee.
Yeah,
You know,
18 bucks a month, which I mean, I'd rather give them 18
Ridiculous.
fucking dollars than to give them fucking 70, but at the same time, they're using that to inflate, like Bill has said this entire time,
Yeah.
to inflate their
numbers.
fucking
Exactly.
numbers, right? So don't do that. Just if you don't want to, like, don't support this shit, man. Like, just don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't do it. I know
it's getting extremely hard for me these days. I said it in the podcast chat today. I was like, man,
It's getting harder and harder, man. to
it's
support these
getting to that
people.
point where I'm just like, I just want to go get an SNES, like one of the old SNES.
Yeah, man,
like,
go
like an
back.
old N64. Go play those old fucking games and just let the new shit
I
do
don't-
whatever it's gonna do.
I don't give a
dude.
shit. I fucking go back. I emulate games every once in a while because I just
Yeah.
the older games are where it's fucking at. There's a
Yeah.
reason I still play all the old
didn't-
Fallouts and all that shit, man.
Back in the day, I didn't have to worry about paying $130
Right.
for the full game. I didn't have to worry about getting a PlayStation Network account shoehorned into my game that I've been playing for 3 months. I didn't have to worry about that shit when I was playing on N64. Generally a game when it released, it was done like that. It wasn't a half-assed bullshit that was
no
hardly
first day
fucking finished.
patches, no online only mode, nothing.
Yeah,
It just makes me really sad, man.
and again, we've said this for a long fucking time. The pre-patch podcast fully endorses indie devs. Go support them. Go support the indie devs that are really doing their due diligence. Not the Dave the Diver indie devs, but the even though Dave the
actual,
Diver,
the
even though
real
David
indie
Diver is
devs.
actually a good game. Like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna knock David Diver, right?
Not an indie game.
But it's not an
it's
indie
not
game.
an indie game.
But go support those devs that are actually trying to do something and to do it well, right? Like I just I don't know. It's super fucking frustrating to continuously keep seeing this kind of shit over and over and over again. And on top of that, we like Wayfinder. I don't know if you guys remember Wayfinder, the game by Digital
Yeah.
Airship,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
myself and Scruffy played it.
This is crazy, bro.
I
Was
played
it-
it as well. Yeah.
Wasn't
This is crazy. what you're about to
wasn't
say.
great, wasn't bad, but it wasn't
Well,
anything
their
spectacular.
their microtransactions is really
Yeah,
kind of took it away from us.
it was just not really good.
Yeah,
Did
They
they release? Did they come out of beta?
out of
I
early
think they
access.
came out of early access and then now are transitioning to what was a free to play game, and you paid to get early access and then you paid to get I think other things with it. They're-
Switch the background.
Huh? Well, no, I don't have it up. I mean, it's all in line with this, like the same thing with like how much these games cost, right? So, Assassin's Creed costing $130. You've got this game free to play, and now they're going, oh, hey, we're going to flip the script. It's now no longer a live service game. It's actually a co-op, a one-time buy co-op, no microtransactions. No mention of anybody that, hey, if you paid for the fucking game, do you bought the Founders Edition,
That's what I
do you
was
get
wondering.
access to that? Right?
No
Like,
mention, nothing.
nothing. No, not yet. There's nothing so far
Wow.
that has come out and said anything.
That would be a huge fucking just shaft to all of those people, including me and you.
Yeah, like so again, you pay for these games, you pay for all of this kind of stuff, and then
And they just take it right away.
you just like, yeah, I don't know, man. They just flip the script on you and can do whatever they
Yeah.
want. Like, again, this game, $130. You have no fucking clue as if the season pass is even going to come out. What's to say that Ubisoft just doesn't go, fucking cancel it. Like, fucking
Well,
do away with
not
it.
just not just that, but we've already seen the fact that Ubisoft is completely okay with shutting down access to people having access to their DLCs. They
They've
did
done
it with
numerous times.
they did it with another like an earlier Assassin's Creed. I can't remember which one it was, but they shut the access down for anybody that had. I think they went back on that afterwards. I think that you still have access to it now, but there for a while they were looking at shutting down having access to like your DLC that you had purchased already. So
I think C is hitting one of our viewers in live chat. By the way, we do this live. You should join us live. Normally on YouTube and Twitch, but right now it's just on YouTube.
fucked up.
This episode is on.
Somehow.
Yeah, this episode is on YouTube only. But like just transparency. Why is transparency and truth and having your consumers like best interest at heart the hardest thing to do? I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like capitalism used to be the thing of like, hey, it drives innovation. It drives the better company wins out. And that's not where we're at right now. Like capitalism is this is now turned into a dystopian.
How scummy can we be?
Yeah, like with like dystopian fucking bullshit. And that's where we're at with this. Like I don't know, man. I feel like the guys that this samurai is beating the shit out of right now. I just got knocked through a fucking bamboo wall and am just sitting there, just getting my head crushed in. Like I don't know. So that's the news for the day. That is the fucking. Anything? I don't know. You guys want to? Anything else you guys want to talk about news wise that we haven't hit on other than the quick hits, which we will still do at the end of the show.
Just
I
the
got a
quick
quick
hits.
question for you guys though. If the Xbox stuff with PlayStation does end up happening, do you think that the games that are going to come over are going to be digital only, or do you think they're going to have a full physical release?
It'll be digital.
Probably
It'll be digital
I'd
only.
imagine.
They won't.
It's
I
Xbox.
don't because who's the ones responsible for the production of those
Yeah,
physical copies? It would be Sony for physical copies of Sony games, right?
Oh no, it will be the
No,
publisher.
it'd be the
that-
publisher.
Yeah, it'd be the
has-
Microsoft.
publisher.
The publisher. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably digital.
Yeah,
It
that's,
won't be
that's what I
digital, yeah.
assume as well, which is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping, in my mind, I would like to see them stick with what Sony does with their games, at least for the time being. But yeah, it's probably wishful thinking on that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hate like Bill.
it would be easily, like, definitely the easiest thing to do to just ship a digital version, call it a day.
I
but-
wish.
Oh, for sure.
I wish, Bill, on everything that you were wrong, right? And what you like, I wanted with every fiber of my being for you to be wrong about the future that we were heading toward with all this. And I fucking can't. I hate to be like, dude, yeah, you were right. You were right about the fucking acquisition. You were right about all this kind of stuff. Like,
Bill was the true PP predict.
I
all
just
along.
fucking like, and I know that Bill's not sitting here like,
No, I'm not happy
Woo!
about it.
He's
I'm
not- it's
not
not a thing to be
thrilled
happy about
like,
at all,
about
no.
it.
oh
But
man,
and there's still time for the ship to right. I hope. I'm hopeful in that.
I was
but-
about to say you're dooming and
Hopeful.
glooming an entire fucking franchise over 3 studios. Like
it's not 3 studios though. It's three like the big 3 of this Nintendo, because Nintendo, just because we didn't talk about Nintendo this week didn't, I mean they've been in the news fucking 2 weeks ago. Like we were talking about them 2 shows ago, but just because like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, like they own all of this shit, man. Like what the fuck, dude? Like I don't know. It's just it's really hard to be happy about shit in the state of gaming right now. Like in a hobby where you play to escape and you play to get away from frustrations and anger and the world that is pretty shitty right now. It's really it kind of puts a damper on wanting to go and play these games for these companies where you're just kind of like, why? Like, why do I support them? Why am I doing what I'm doing? You know, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. It just sucks, man.
It does.
Well, let's talk about games that we are playing. So I'm gonna start off with Abiotic Factor. So this is a game that I didn't even know was a fucking thing. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I got a key for it and through work, and I was like, yeah, like let me give it a shot and play it. And because I didn't even know this was coming out. I'd never even heard of this game. It like again kind of shadow happened. And pretty happy with it. I think it's cool. And essentially what this game is like it really takes a big homage from like Half-Life, but it is a co-op survival game where it has elements of like 7 Days to Die. It has elements of, obviously, like they literally have the carbuncle from Half-Life. I don't know how they get away with that, but like it is the head
Carbuncle.
crab.
Yeah.
Like it's
It
called
reminds me a lot
carbuncle
of,
in this
like
game.
SCP as well.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me SCP vibes.
And then like I said, I think it said 7 Days to Die, where you have a character, you build said character the way you want, you give them certain things. Also Project Zomboid, right, where like you
That's
put
what-
points
yeah.
in your character.
Pick like a job for
Yep.
points.
Yep.
And, yeah.
And then you kind of
Stats.
build them out. I'm going to fast forward here to where we get into to the game, and then you start to just explore. And I'm playing. What you're
Is
seeing
Summer
here is
Intern like the deprived class for this game?
yeah. You have nothing. You start blank.
That's funny.
And essentially, you are going down into this facility, and you are, crafting, finding items, like all of this kind of stuff, and building and just trying to kind of
So you're
survive.
just like a worker who's like looting this place and like
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to survive all the monsters and shit that
Yeah.
outbreak.
And like you learn different.
And it's a kind of a fun concept.
Yeah, I mean, you learn different you know, I like they're called ideas, but blueprints based on like what you do and what you pick up and you know all this other kind of stuff. The the voice lines in this game are comedic as shit. They're funny as hell. Like people are like when you're training, the guy that's training you is like, "Hey man, I'm training you today because like, you know, Jim got sick or some shit or called out of work, so I gotta pick up for his lazy ass. So I don't know, man. I think there's something over there you gotta pick up and go do. Just go look at it, and it'll tell you what you gotta go do. And so you walk over to the
Like
computer.
High on Life, like dialogue. And
Yeah,
narrative.
it's fucking it's hilarious. And then
Funny.
again, they don't really give you much. They're just kind of like, all right, well now just I don't know, go down here and see. Like all of a sudden we got a warning thing. Go down there and see what the fuck's going on. And so like you go down to this level and now you're, you know, tasked with like all of a sudden finding these people and like you get quests because it'll tell you like go here and figure out what happened to this person. And then like get like on here, like you're finding like chef hats that you put on that will like give you a bonus to like cooking and whatever. And it's up to, I think 8-player co-op, if I'm not mistaken. And it is very much like 7 Days to Die in the sense that it's based on the person's world that you're in. So it can't be always online. You have to, you know, you play within the world that you're, you know, so if I get off and I've got the server host in the game, the host, the server goes down and it comes back based on those kind of things. But, I don't know, man, it's like, it's just kind of fun. Like it's not anything great. Like it's not anything crazy. But they do have like a very unique way that you build, and power things. So you just saw there where like there was an actual power outlet. You have to go in and you will build like a crafting bench, and then you have to power said crafting bench by plugging it up to an actual power outlet. And then you have to, if you want to plug in more things, you have to build a power strip to then plug in more shit. Like, and it's just, I don't know. It's
That's
fun.
an interesting way of going about that kind of stuff. I don't think it would necessarily be my taste, just because that seems like a bit too much monotony
Micromanagey
and like, yeah, it's just weird. Like that seems like an odd time sinky type mechanic.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the some of the combat stuff too, because also too like there's things that happen where like you like right here there that's like one of the things you can capture it with a net, and then you like step on it and you grab some of its like scrap pieces, you know, and that's kind of the purpose of the monsters there. But then like it also, if like lights turn out, then all of a sudden it goes into like warning mode, and like all of like again like 7 Days to Die, where you're like if you go into the red moon, like all of a sudden now all these things are coming out, and they're gonna come attack you, and you have to like build up your base. And
There was a game that I watched somebody play. It was like an IKEA survival game. You literally survived inside of a infinite IKEA store.
Yeah,
with,
that
like,
was
enemies.
that's one of the SCPs.
It was one of the SCPs at the Infinite IKEA, and somebody made a game of it, and that reminds me a lot of this because it was a very survival-esque game where you actually had to like build a base with inside that IKEA, and when the lights went off at night, all of the enemies would come out and attack you. It is very similar. It's kind of quirky, funny,
Mhm.
a gimmicky game, but
yeah,
fun
I mean
at the same time.
it's really good. I mean, it's getting, like I said, it's got 5,000. It's got 5,500 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. It's developed by
Hell yeah.
Deep Field Games, published by PlayStack. It is an early access for $25. And the other
$25. That seems
well,
like a
so
lot.
I thought the same thing. And again, this is not my type of game. Like I played it because I got a key and I wanted to try it, and I saw it was getting overwhelmingly positive reviews, and so I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. I actually like, there is a lot of fucking content in this, and like a lot of content. I get it for $25, but I mean when you got
And
games
it's
that are
also early access, so there's going to be more content coming.
Yeah,
I could
hopefully.
see 25 would be the limit. I think anything more, I would be hesitant, but I think I'd pay 25 for something like this product.
Yeah, this was also, I think, Deep Field Games, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they also did hold on, did they do Core Keeper, or was Core Keeper done by the publisher? Give me one sec. Hello, Core Keeper. I'm just trying to Core Keeper was done by Pugstorm and Fireshine Games, so that's not the same. But there is a bundle that you can get for $37 that actually comes with both, which I think
Interesting.
is worth on that as well, because Core Keeper is an
Core
amazing
Keeper's
game.
great.
But I don't know, man.
This is $22, not 25.
I'm looking at it on Steam. $25.
They have it in a bundle right now with Core Keeper for $22.
Maybe
get
it's
Core
no,
Keeper
that's because
and-
you own
Wait,
Core
no, that's
Keeper.
because I own Core. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So in any case, the game again, the other cool thing about this is that, which I do like, is that you can you take your items with you. So like if you want to move your base, it's as easy as just being like, hey, like deconstruct this, but it doesn't like break down everything. It just puts it in your pocket. And now it goes into your inventory. And so then if you want to move your base to like a deeper level, so it gives you very much of like the, like, am I going to go down like another run and go harder? You can take all your shit with you.
That's dope. I like that convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tired of being overweight in games.
yeah. And the other cool thing about that is that literally anything in the world you can store shit in. Like you can like you open up a cabinet, and I didn't realize this until later on. I was like, oh fuck, I can literally put shit in these cabinets. And sure enough, like you can just store shit in cabinets. Like if you wanted to, you and again, and there are people, I've watched people play this, like you just saw, like it said like deconstruct. I deconstructed that lamp, and now it gave me an idea or a blueprint for how to make that lamp. And then also things that lamp needs. Like, you know, you may have like a flashbang grenade that needs that lamp and whatever else to use it. So it really encourages you to like just try different things, deconstruct. But also I've watched people that literally do nothing but want to make like the dopest like, you know, shed or like survival area place that they're gonna be. And like they've gone in and like put rugs and fucking like water coolers. Also, I'm like, okay, sure, man. If that's what you like, hey, have at it. Like
It's pretty
Yeah.
standard for survival games.
yeah, well, again, this is not my genre. I just thought it was interesting.
Everyone's got their tastes in survival games. You know, there are those like cosmetic type people who want to
That's,
go for like the beauty
Another
aspect of the
settlement
game.
needs your help.
the whole being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to like store things in any container that you find. That's pretty much. I mean, 7 Days to Die has that.
Yeah.
Zomboid has that. Same thing with like grabbing the lantern and everything like that. Yeah. So they took a lot of inspiration out of that.
Yeah,
For sure.
but it's done again,
And
done really well.
Not a bad thing.
Like
So are we gonna label this a 7 Days to Die-esque?
I'm going. Dude,
Like-
I will drop.
like
you already
Tarkov.
know I'm in the mood to
I'm
punch somebody.
surprised, honestly, that Sin went back to 7 Days to Die after we left him at base all that time. He still came back.
Oh shit.
The game is good. Abiotic Factor. I recommend going and trying it out. If you are
Are you
into
playing with
the
somebody else
survival-
here?
Yeah, so I was playing with Pika. We tried the
Oh, that's right.
online. Worked perfectly fine. No issues, no hiccups, no nothing. Just literally, it worked. And
It's good.
it was a good time. Yeah, had a lot of fun.
Hashtag Fallout 4. It just works.
It just works. Yeah. So that is Abiotic Factor. The other game that I have been playing, and actually myself, Enigma, and Scruffy have been playing, is good old, and I can't believe I'm saying this, man, Marvel Rivals NetEase's game. They got a banger on their hands, man. I am
Potential.
potential
There's
if they keep
potential.
up with it.
Hey, NetEase, I heard that he said that Hulk's ass was too small.
I did not say it.
Ban him. Ban him.
We're
Get him,
already
NetEase.
in heat for
Get
this
him,
podcast,
NetEase.
bro.
Now this is in closed alpha right now, right?
This isn't, yes. So
Yeah.
In
Is there a way to get
quotations.
access to that alpha, or is it like
Didn't it close today?
no.
the
It
20th, I
goes to the
think.
20th.
Was it the 20th? Okay, I
yeah.
thought it was the 16th.
So so here's the thing about it. Like you could have, like, they opened up the game when it first got announced. They opened you up to go and take a survey and fill it out to get into the code, to get into it. Essentially they were like, hey, how much you know, how many games like Overwatch, how many games like shooters
How
have you
much
played?
money
How
do
much-
you
yeah,
spend
that was
a month?
Literally,
on
it was one of the
Overwatch?
questions. One of the questions in there was like, you buy you buy a lot of skins in games? How much money do you think you spend on something
Same.
like this?
I max my shit out.
Yeah, no, I was like,
Yeah.
let me scroll to the very
Since,
end.
like,
Boop,
since,
yes.
like here in the dialogue box, Sin just put his credit card number.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
hey, I took a second mortgage out to buy that horse in Diablo.
Yeah, they
but-
sent in 10 keys for that.
So you got a key there, and then they have like a creator program that allows for people to get keys, but they've been pretty stern about giving keys out, and they have this really fucking weird, like they have this thing that where you can click inside the game, and once you hit level 6, you can get a key, but only if it's not
There's a
everybody.
limited amount of keys. So
And
we found
it's a
out-
pool.
I'm
It's a
pretty
pool
sure
of
that's
keys.
I'm pretty sure that's
Oh.
the case because like there's it
I
opens
heard
at
something
5
about that.
p.m. It
Yeah.
opens at 5 p.m. Central, I think, or not Central, Pacific
ET.
Standard Time, I think is what it is. Yeah, so it opens at 5 p.m. and Pika was saying that like literally within like 20 minutes they're gone. All the
Yeah.
keys are gone.
It's it's not like anybody and everybody
Plus,
can just
it's
get a key.
it's a terrible system that
It's a
way because
terrible
you have so many
system, dude.
bots and
Yeah.
well, and hackers and all that just race to get those keys.
I will say it's a better system than Once Human. Once Human was just like,
Yeah.
"Ah, come to our Discord. We'll just put it in a fucking channel. And
Oh
maybe
no,
you'll
they
get it."
still
I
do
don't
that.
know.
No, they still do that here. That's not any different.
But at least they give you another option to get it. That's all the Once Human did for the longest time. I think that they still do that. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
That's a
know for
terrible
sure,
way
but
too.
yeah.
So the other side about this is that they are so it's closed out for right now, and then if once you reach level 10, you are guaranteed to be into the closed beta, which I am almost 100% sure that the closed beta for this is going to happen literally within a
like
week
right after.
after this thing goes out of closed alpha, and then it's going to go to open beta, and then it's going to launch. Because in the corner when you get into the main menu, it says preseason ends in 85 days. Well, if you do the math, most preseasons are about 15 to 20, maybe 30 days depending on the game. And you are and then it goes into season 1. So if you do the math there, that's saying that this game will essentially launch probably within the next month. I would say this is probably going to be a June launch. I realize that we are
If
not doing a very
like
good
end of
job
July.
explaining what this game is. So Marvel Rivals, for all of our audio listeners, I apologize. Marvel Rivals is a 6v6 hero-based third-person shooter with essentially it's take Overwatch, make it third person, or like Paladins.
Let's take Overwatch OG, the Overwatch 1 when it
Yeah.
first launched. Like that's what this is.
And you have characters from the Marvel universe like Doctor Strange, Penny Parker, Hela, Iron Man, Black
Hulk,
Panther, Hulk,
Iron Man, yeah.
A lot of
Groot.
a lot of underdog, like not underdogs, but like smaller, lesser known
smaller
characters too.
Yeah. But here's the thing: the game, it's good. Like it's not without its faults.
Yeah,
Like,
just-
there's some
Just
issues, but-
really quickly, just have to have a shout out because we haven't talked about it. Pika, thank you for the codes. I know
For
that you
sure.
gave me
Thank you.
one. I know that
You got me one too.
you got Scruffy one. So we appreciate it, bud. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But
And we are required by law to say that the game is good. By the way,
Fuck that, bro. I don't
yeah,
give a shit.
there is some controversy around like there is a no disparaging
say it.
clause. So a rumor was that somebody got banned for saying that Hulk had a flat ass. It's a rumor. It's not been
Rumor.
confirmed or whatever else. And also too, again, I'm not saying it's right, but this is something that's in common in almost all betas and alphas that people get into. They just don't know. They just don't do the due diligence to read it. It just became known that this dude rumored that he said something about a flat ass, a Hulk, and and people saw it and they're all pissed off. But
Yeah. So to just go over that, like when I found out about it, I was like, nah, I don't care. I'm gonna state what I state, and if they ban me, they ban me. Like
yeah.
that's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. Like, and
Yeah.
regardless if it's on other games or not, it's still a very dumb thing to do, especially when you're wanting feedback from an alpha. You shouldn't have that.
The worst part is, man, like the game is not even bad. Like there was no reason
it didn't
for it.
need it. There was there was absolutely no fucking reason for it.
Yeah,
the
was
game
Was there a
was
clause in
good.
the contract that you had to close your windows and have your
Oh,
neighbors?
was
No,
that
they didn't go-
fire
they
right
didn't
there?
go
Oh
full
my
Ubisoft.
God.
yeah, they didn't go
Yeah.
full
But
Ubisoft
yeah.
mode.
No.
Make sure the
Um,
curtains are completely covered, and then
that
put
was-
a second curtain on top of it.
Yeah.
that was a big that was a big hit on Twitter for him,
That's
and I
about
think
as
that they
much
I
the
think
drama this game stirred up.
They reversed it.
I think that they
reversed some
I
stuff.
was about to say I think they walked
Did
it
they
back,
reverse
or
it?
at least they're in the
Yeah.
process of walking it back because they
I heard
basically they
did
basically stated that
something.
they basically stated that hey that was just a basic contractual TOS that we had in file just to kind of throw in there. We want to hear your feedback, and I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't be making it like
Yeah.
with that non-disparaging clause. I couldn't say something like I don't like the fact that Loki is a fucking healer. That makes
Right.
no sense to me. Like that is vital feedback
Whether
for
or
a
not
game, right?
other games do it as well, it's just I don't think it's right in any aspect
So
of
it's-
any game doing. It's just
Do you
it's-
think? Do you
yeah.
think maybe it was in there to like try to like curb like people that aren't playing the game that like, or maybe like got it just to hate on it, like some Overwatch fanboys that got it
It
just
still
to
happens. It's still
slander it.
happening.
I was
Sure,
about
but
to
that's
say
still gonna
if
happen.
it
I mean,
was that's such a terrible way of doing it.
Right.
Yeah, because
Because
you're just
yeah,
you're just
I'm
gonna
not
bring
trying to
even
justify it, I'm
more.
just
those
trying to
people are
figure
still
out
gonna.
why.
Those are the people who aren't even gonna play the game. They're just gonna hate on it and always hate on it. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they get banned or not.
I'm gonna
They're
go
gonna-
even. I'm
it's
gonna
not
go
gonna
even a
stop 'em.
darker side. I don't think that NetEase had a full trust that the game was going to do well, and so they were more like, "Hey, we're gonna put this out there because we don't know if this game's any good."
To be
And
fair, there's not been a great track record with Marvel games. So
no, absolutely not. But
maybe they're not
to be-
too wrong in that thinking.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're talking about this like it's out and completely released. They still got a long time to
Yeah,
piss people
no.
off.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
100%, dude. Like I said, the game's got potential, but like I'm
Uh,
not jumping the gun, and being like it's
Yeah,
the game. It's
Right.
amazing.
it's good.
or
man.
anything.
But
it's
it's
good. It is
like it plays well. You have and again, this is a game that is a hero based shooter. So you have 6v6, and they have like there's tank classes, there's
see
DPS
that?
classes, there's healer classes. What?
fucking Moth was just like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something I
I
did
was
in the
like,
game.
what
I
the
was like, yeah, no, I didn't want to commend anybody, so I just backed the fuck out. Yes, and put us in another
Cow.
match.
Fucking Moth is like dive bombing me, man. I'm like, whoa,
That's
whoa,
because he's from
whoa.
NetEase. He's like, you talk shit about that game. Oh,
No, that,
How
that's
dare
that's a
you,
moth,
Loki
that,
is
that
my
moth
fucking-
came straight from Helldivers, bro.
Yeah.
He's coming back
That's
for
true
your ass.
too. Yeah.
but in any case, again, it's and so, but and you have different modes like push the payload and defend and capture the point and whatever. And honestly,
Yeah.
like we only have 3 maps that we really get to play on. And I think it's 3.
I thought it was 2. I thought it was 2.
No,
And
it's
the-
3. It's 3.
Are you sure? I thought it
It
was 2,
is.
and then they transfer between positions.
No, because I filled out
No.
their survey and they wanted
Okay.
me to rate each one of their 3 maps. So I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So, but the game, like they feel fresh. The maps are done really well. There is some stuff with like destructible environments.
There's a
It's a little
couple of
wonky.
Yeah.
But like
The fact that I got stuck under a fucking
Yeah,
piece
that's
of
weird.
fucking
That was
destructible
hilarious.
environment
I
and
didn't
couldn't
see
get
that,
out of
but
it.
anybody
I
else
got
would
I
do.
gotta imagine that there is that is like a development that's not supposed to happen, and they've got to obviously fix it. But again, this also their map design I think is really really good. Like I think their characters feel good, and a lot of people are shitting on it because they're just like, oh, this is why go play this? Just fucking go play Overwatch. And again, I go back to being like, can we not just have something fucking good? Like, do you have to
Right.
just shit on something? Like, yes, there are characters in here that have a shield. Does that mean he's Reinhardt? No. There's characters
Wow,
that
hold up. I said there are characters in here that are direct rips from.
I'm not
fucking,
saying I'm
like,
not saying, but like
Like
I'm
who? Give an example.
So it's Tracer and what's his name?
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord
Quill.
are exact rips. They're basically the same person. It's just
I-
Quill can
Pretty
fly.
much.
I
Except it
argue-
just doesn't have a
no, they're
time
not.
I don't
function.
think
I
so.
argue that you're
No,
wrong.
Other than the shooting animation, like
I'm-
the
I
was
SMG
gonna- no,
animation with
I-
the spin, but
It was
none
gonna,
of
it's
the
the
other.
shooting animation and the dodge, but it's not like a time affected dodge. There's okay. It's just like Paladins. It's just
Yeah.
like
I'm
all
not
these
saying
other
it's a
hero
bad
shooters.
thing,
They all take
Yeah.
and pull from
Yeah.
each other. That's all it is.
but like
It's not a bad
Doctor
thing.
But can
Doctor
Tracer
Strange.
fly?
Doctor Strange has a shield that's
No,
pretty
yeah.
much like Reinhardt.
Yeah.
What's his name? Magneto has the basically the same shield. I mean, it's they've taken a lot of things, but they've also done things that are directly in contrary to what that is. They've made them somewhat their own characters. But
yeah,
there-
I mean,
there's
unique
definitely
yeah,
there's definitely
they
pieces that have been brought
they
from
looked
it.
at Overwatch and was like, hey, what are some things that are cool, right? Like they're not like,
Yeah, what
again,
do
why
people like?
why reinvent the fucking wheel? Like some of this stuff, like
Right.
cool, like we can take.
I'm gonna say, man, like it's not a bad thing, you know, like coming into these kind of games, you know, right off the rip, it actually helps to like
Yeah,
have
there's a
some knowledge.
familiarity to it.
There's a familiarity. You get into it like,
Yeah.
oh, this character feels a lot like Reinhardt. Okay, I could get into
Yeah,
this.
Scar-
Or this character
an-
is like
an-
Tracer.
another-
Okay, maybe this will be my kind of character. Or Soldier. You know, there's so you get a grasp on it a lot quicker, and you can enjoy the game a lot quicker and see if you like it or not. You know, I think it's a
Another-
good thing, honestly.
Another one, Scarlet Witch and Moira are very very similar
But-
in
well,
their
so
play
here-
styles.
But here's the
Not
thing,
very,
they
but to
only
a
they
point, yeah.
if you look at every
It's
single
just
character
a-
where everybody is like, this character's a direct rip to Sigma, this
Well,
character's a
then.
direct rip to Moira.
I never
It's-
said
I'm
it
not,
was
I'm not
a
saying
direct
you.
rip.
I'm not saying you.
Yes,
I
but
am
you're
saying-
attacking me like I did.
No, I'm not. I am attacking the fucking dumbass people on
He's
Twitch
bouncing.
and gamers that are fucking like
Need to-
just
You to take it down and
revenue.
sir.
I'm not attacking you, but
I'm
I'm
not
attacking everybody
Sony.
else. Like they are.
You could be.
It's
We
like
don't know.
okay, so
Uh.
Scarlet Witch has an ability where she doesn't have, again, yes,
Absorbs
an homage
or
to
whatever.
Moira. She sucks. I don't know how to say this other one. She
Whoa,
sucks
whoa,
off
whoa.
a character.
She-
Like she draws
Oh,
energy
wait.
to her damaging is a
She-
draw energy off of somebody.
How is
She
Vision
also-
gonna think
right?
about this?
She also goes invisible and,
she
goes
has-
into like a
she-
mist
she-
form to
right, she
for
has a
for her
misform, but
dash,
that's
yeah,
it. Like that's
that,
it. Other than that, that is her only things that
That's-
are
that's-
close to it.
That's 3/4 of
you-
Moira's entire fucking place.
No,
What
it's-
do you
it's-
mean
it's-
that's
It's just like Paladins, man. It's just like Pip and
Yeah.
Junkrat. They
Yeah.
both lob bombs and jump
I'm-
around like.
I'm just stating that you can't state that people can't state that they are very similar to
I'm not
Overwatch
saying-
characters when they
I'm not-
are.
I'm not saying
I'm,
that.
I'm just gonna state that they can say that there's similarities. They just can't state that it's gonna be like a one for one.
A
like
direct
That's
rip.
right,
rip.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and that's
Because
what's
Scarlet
pissing
Witch
me off.
doesn't have any healing factor.
No, she has no
No,
healing
Moira
factor.
does.
No.
And then in that case, you should say, well, Rocket Raccoon is a fucking Moira rip because he has one ability that he bounces a fucking orb that heals. So does that make
Sure.
him a fucking? He's a Moira
Now
rip
there's
off?
two
No.
Moiras.
Like
Or
I just
Spider-Man's a Reaper rip because he has that one move that
Right.
does like the big AoEs
The only-
around
right.
him.
The only bad thing that I have to say is again, like there are some characters that I'm like, why?
Yeah,
again,
like Black
Loki.
Panther,
Loki being
No,
a
I-
healer
yeah.
makes no fucking
Well,
sense to
they're-
me.
Their their choice making of putting these certain like
Yeah.
character types into the roles doesn't really.
Loki
all that
Loki is one of the
sense.
big ones for me. Doctor Strange, when I first started
s-
playing, I was
I
like,
still
why is
argue
he a
Rocket
tank?
I don't understand Rocket
like,
being a healer.
Rocket
to
I
an
somewhat
extent,
understand. So
I think
Rocket,
he should
I
have still
after
been more of a Torbjorn type, being a
Yeah,
turret
I
mancer
do agree
or
with
something.
you. Rocket, after I played him a little bit and started looking at like his background and everything like that, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he's
mean,
kind
sure,
of a
it could
back
feel
end
good and
support,
And it
but
could
his
make
heals
sense,
don't
but
make sense. It would have
Yeah.
made more sense if he had been like a like you said, like
I'm
a
still gonna
Torbjorn.
say, man, I think this game could have set itself apart enough if they would have actually gone down a route of adding another role, being more of a utility type support.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a really cool idea, and
Yeah.
you know, give that role to like Rocket and you know, or
For sure, yeah.
or
What are
there's
the
another
who are the
character.
other healers beside?
so
you know,
there's
Snow
Loki,
and Mantis.
there's Loki, Mantis, the Snow Chick, and then
Luna
Rocket.
Snow.
Those are
Yeah.
your
Luna
three,
Frost,
your
Luna
four
Frost,
healers.
four heroes.
Lunar Frost, yes.
Lunar
Um,
Frost
so-
is a healer.
yes.
Yeah, she does like ice
She's like a
healing.
Lucio. She has a Lucio ability where she.
That's right. That's right. She has
um,
the AoEs.
Yeah. But again, even her character kit, like, and this is what I'll say. I definitely agree that like it at first it's just kind of like, why, you know, Enchantress could have been a better healer pick than Loki because of like what she would do. But I do somewhat go and say there has to be healers. Like there's got and there's
There-
got to be
there
characters
Sure.
that
There
But they
there
didn't- they
does,
could-
but
they
my
have such a huge arsenal of
That's what I was gonna
characters to
say.
choose from. They
My-
could have not put Loki in right away.
Yeah.
you know, and just instead made somebody else a healer. I think they're just putting these big characters in because
well, yeah,
they
for
want
namesake, yeah, they want
for
people.
people for
I'm
namesake, they want
assuming
people
you'd
to
want Loki to
enjoy
be
it.
like a
An
a
assassin
speedy
turret
or
mancer.
DPS.
something.
yeah, like a Turbomancer DPI. Like the way that they have him set up, right? So the way that he works is he heals
Clones and
by
stuff.
shooting you, but he also puts down clones that will shoot people as well, and then he can transfer. He can like trade
Warp
places
back
with
and
them
forth, yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
warp back and forth
he-
between them, which
he
that
is
all makes sense.
A decent DPS
Yeah,
even as a
that-
healer.
That makes sense to me. Like the
Right.
the subtlety and like the him being like a trickster, like I'm swapping. You know,
That's exactly
that
how he
makes
sounds too.
yeah, that is exactly how he says. That makes sense to me, but like the healing just doesn't. I don't understand it. Like Holoki would never heal. Like
It's really it just seems like such a like a filler
Like a
like
shoehorned
they
in
needed
aspect.
kind of they needed a
shoehorned him
healer, and
into
that
a
was the
healer,
easiest
so
way to do it. Yeah,
there you go.
And I mean,
with the roster that they had.
and you also have things like Black Panther, for instance, who's I really hate that they just made Black Panther kind of shit. Like his character is pretty shitty.
Yeah,
Like
there's
there
definitely
are
some characters that need to be
so is Hulk,
reworked.
from what I understand.
I
Hulk
wouldn't
is
say
ass.
I wouldn't say he's
Hulk is
shitty.
ass and has
It's
no
just
dude,
that
he
I wouldn't say that Black Panther is shitty. It's just
Black
I think he
Panther?
has a high skill cap because like we've been wrecked by Black Panthers, like really good.
yeah,
Black
but his
Panthers
but
before.
like if you look at what again, kind of like his character, what he should be, like his like the myth,
Yeah.
the mythos and lore
think-
of him. Why would you not go with like, hey, like again, keep him as a DPS. You can keep him as that, but like make him stealthy, make him go invis, make him silent,
Well,
make
my-
him.
my
know-
thing was and we were discussing this the other night on I think on your stream. My thing was like, why not make him a tank with like the ability to have like him soaking up damage, because they already have that. They already have that as a passive for him. When he's taking damage, he's able to put out more damage. Just swap it up to like when he's taking damage, it's damage mitigation, and then he does like a big
Yeah.
giant.
It could have been like a Zarya type, you know.
Yeah.
There's a comparison again, but it
Yeah.
could have been, you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, so I do hope that there are some reworks that they need to do. There are some characters that do need
Hulk-
some reworks.
Hulk needs a lot
yeah.
of love.
Like
Hulk-
Hulk is
Which
one of my
wild,
biggest
because you would
complaints.
think he would be the one, like being one of the more popular
Exactly.
Marvel heroes, that they
Yeah.
would have taken more care of him. But I hear he is like actually
He's
the only
ass.
trash tier character in the
He's
game.
terrible.
Yeah,
he's
I don't know if I would say the only, but yeah, he is
they
definitely.
went too far into like the Overwatch poll there with just trying to make him like a Winston, but he's just a very mediocre Winston. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
do
doesn't-
Yeah,
really
he doesn't have
well.
the knockback or anything, right?
Well, he does
doesn't-
not
no,
that.
and
He
he's
doesn't.
super slow, and he's
Yeah, his
can't jump
kit just doesn't make
around.
sense, like really
Yeah.
for what he is, and and there's again
Well,
like also like Iron Man, like Iron Man's kit, like if you
Yeah.
that character
Iron Man. Yeah,
is so like
Iron Man
could
just
be
needs to
amazing.
sped up a bit.
So a lot of these complaints I think can be fixed with just like very minor tweaks. So like
Yeah,
Iron Man can be fixed by like just giving
Speed
him
him
a
up a bit
little bit more
and
speed, or
maybe
giving him
fixes,
iframes like a dodge.
Fixes
Right.
turret. There is not his turrets. His
I-
missiles a little bit too.
What's his name? Hulk I think could be fixed just by making him a little bit more tankier. I think that his current kit is okay.
Yeah.
Right, just
Or let
make him
jump
so that
around
he
more or
like
something.
I think that for being the strongest Avenger, he is right now the weakest tank.
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah.
I've also seen people say that to give Hulk, like whenever he jumps, like lands, make that like have a hitbox
knock
to it.
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree,
like
yeah.
a radiation hitbox or something. I don't know. So
Yeah.
you could do anything really. with
and
it.
there are characters that again, because you have characters that are flying in the air, that it's very like
he gets
like for instance, like
He gets
Spider-Man can be very tough because he's a melee, right? Like he doesn't, and even like Black Panther, very tough if you have characters that are like Iron Man, like Star-Lord, like Hela, that are all up in the air, and Storm, you can't get to, you can't touch them. So obviously, yeah, you're countering that, and you need, but like there are some characters that definitely need tweaks and love. But all in all, like the
Mhm.
ebb and flow of the game, it's
think the
good.
current
It
state is
just,
good.
It's good, man. And
Yeah.
and for an alpha, like,
it's a
fucking-
nitpick, but I still think it could be sped up. Like overall, I think it could just be sped up just a hair touch. But that's a nitpick on my part. I'm just finding like getting into like fights after you die is like uber slow, and it just doesn't
Especially
make for
for
like a
tanks.
smooth experience for me, man.
As a Groot, as a Groot player,
Yeah,
like
man.
Groot is so
no
fucking slow.
mobility,
Dude.
like for those
Zero
characters that have
mobility,
no mobility at all.
Very
it's just,
slow
it's
movement
rough.
speed. It's terrible. Like getting back into an engagement is
It's
like
not, you're not always going to have like
painful.
a Storm or like a Doctor
Yeah.
Strange to get you in there or anything, you know. So
Yeah.
I think
But-
they just need to tweak that just a little bit too.
Do you think some of these weaker characters and stuff is due to the combined abilities? Because I'm seeing like Rocket sitting on your shoulder as Groot, and I know Iron Man and Hulk have a synergy like that. Do you think those are like heavily factoring into the
don't think
strength
so.
of the characters on like an individual basis.
Nah.
No, I don't think, because honestly, like the team ups are
I think
really
they do their
cool,
team
but
ups
they
do
but
pretty good.
yeah, they don't. It's not something where it's like if you don't have a team up, you will lose, like
Yeah,
right.
kind of thing. Like obviously they definitely help, but
Like Rocket himself, I was playing Rocket quite a bit when we were playing. I think
Francis
that Rocket
misses
is
you
actually,
on my shoulder.
yeah. I think that Rocket is actually better when he's not on Groot. Personally, granted, the like when I was playing right here with him, I'm basically a pocket tank or a pocket healer for him. I can just literally look down at the floor and fucking shoot, and that's
Yeah.
how I was doing. Like that's how we were doing so well in this. Is that I was literally just healing him, right?
Right.
But like I think that Rocket does better when he's not being teamed up with Groot, but actually probably better when he's teamed up with the Punisher, personally, because he has a team up with the Punisher that he gives the Punisher unlimited ammo when he does his ult. So
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think Loki's and Hela's team up's pretty good too. You know, you can pretty much revive Loki whenever he dies if you just get a kill within a few span of a few seconds or something like that. You know, I
It's
mean,
pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, again,
So,
there's,
yeah,
it's just
I don't
another
think
cool
so.
ability. It's something to make him
Yeah.
different, right? To stand out amongst the other games.
I actually think that is one of their better qualities on this game. Like in the comparison between Overwatch and this, I think that's what sets this game aside from Overwatch is that it does have that.
yeah. Do you think they
kinda
should be
conceit
adding a lot
cohesion.
more team ups, or do you think they should be
I think so,
careful
yeah.
with it?
Yeah,
What do
I
you think
know,
the
I think that they
monetization
should.
model is going to be like? Do you think team ups are going to be part of the battle pass?
no,
think
no,
so.
no, because
No,
it's
it'll be
based on it's
skins.
based on the character. Yeah, it's gonna be skins, and I think, I wonder if they're gonna go down the route of like you have to pay for characters. I could see them doing that.
Probably.
I
Um,
hope not, but
well,
probably.
I mean, probably.
I mean, I
It's-
could
it's
see
not
it like,
I
with
gonna-
the
hope-
league.
I wouldn't be
know.
surprised if they
I
do
just hope
like
it's
what
not
Smite
grind,
did.
like a
I-
huge grind.
Yeah,
is
so
all.
that's what I was supposed to say. I hope that if they do go down the route of paying for characters, they also offer a free route that's going
Well, they
to
will.
not be a huge
they have
grind.
to. I'm gonna say they have to. If they
Yeah.
don't, then they're
game
screwed.
dies.
That
The game
that's
dies.
that's
Yeah.
one of that's where it dies. So
Um,
Yeah.
they will offer it free. I just hope it's not too egregious
think-
on the grind.
We haven't.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they do like what Smite does with like a one-time purchase that gives you access to all like current and future god or characters.
I would
Or even-
agree with you, but it's NetEase. I don't know if I don't know if I think that they'll do
Yeah.
that. But,
Or the
How does-
something
how does-
more along the lines of Rainbow Six Siege of being a year
How-
like a season.
Yeah.
thing.
How
Yeah.
does Smite handle that? Like, if you buy
Well,
that pass, do they just?
used to offer that pass to get all the guys? I don't think they do anymore though. Do they?
No, they still do. Yep.
Do they? Really?
The thing was Smite 2 is going to have its own version of that pass, so you're going to have to buy that pass again for Smite 2. But
Oh, maybe
yeah,
that
if,
was it,
if it's still available.
Okay.
But no, I think if you like Overwatch, if you like the original Overwatch, like Scruffy said,
Yeah.
you'll definitely like this. And if you're a Marvel fan, I think it's a very competent Marvel shooter.
Right now,
I am
it's
firmly impressed
One
with
of
it.
the more competent Marvel games we've had in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the most competent hero shooters we've had in a while. Like
That too.
You know,
yeah,
so
that too.
it's hitting on a lot of good things, and I mean, it's not
like-
confirmed. We have, but it's data mined that there is 39 heroes already in the works for this game. So
And like
know,
we said, man,
yeah.
they have a huge roster that they can
It's-
pull from, bro.
we've-
it's
we've been-
endless.
We've been stating it for literally
God, since
every Marvel game
Avengers,
that is
bro,
released
yeah.
since Marvel Avengers. That literally the only thing that you need to do for a Marvel game is release
Don't fuck up.
characters
Release character.
and keep content coming. You have 80 years worth of content to play off of.
Yeah.
Why is that such a hard thing to understand? I don't understand it.
They just see that and they get so greedy. That really is what it is.
It's gonna be
And-
interesting.
or they just suck at developing.
It's-
I do like one thing that was said in chat. Celia has said that the funny how the most positive part of the entire stream is the one about NetEase games. This
I
is a really
know.
strange new world.
yeah,
It is. Yeah, it is.
yep.
Considering literally last podcast, we were like, fucking NetEase is gonna be terrible. They're gonna fuck this up.
I mean, I fully expected them to fuck it up. I'm still expecting them to
I-
fuck
they
it up.
I still
They
kinda fully
fucking
expect them to,
man.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
still can. We don't know.
So, but I hope not. But yeah. So anyway, cool. Well, that's what we've been playing. I have played solo leveling Arise, and I have played the new season for
I'm
Diablo
surprised you
4.
played that.
But we will get into that next episode because we are way over time. on this one, but it's 2 weeks.
But we're not getting
of,
paid overtime.
of stuff. So,
Wait,
you know.
you're getting
You're
paid?
getting paid? Oh, give me the back the brain cell, Enigma.
Oh man,
We're not doing that whole we're the same person.
No, but we
Well-
literally are at this point. And just
Oh my
the
God.
wires got crossed for a second.
I think my mouse died, so I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to find a way to end this fucking show.
We're going all night.
We're going until he finds the podcast delete or the
Hello? I'm gonna have to plug in a power
mouse.
cable. So,
Oh God, gotta go back
fucking
to the
make-
wired world, bud.
make this work. Anyway, let's do the quick hits real quick. As we covered most of these, but we talked about Xbox fans dropping a nuke on Phil Spencer's Fallout 76 base because of all the shit that's going on with their stuff. Rogue Prince of Persia got delayed. Red Dead Redemption is coming to PC, but we found out that that's probably
Rumored.
just going to be. I thought it was confirmed. I thought they
I
confirmed that it
don't
was
think they've
coming out.
confirmed it.
Well, either way, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that shitty port, right? That
We're
More
we're
than likely,
speculating it's
we're
gonna be that
speculating
shitty.
it. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yay. And then we got Battlefield. Hey, PP predicts, man. Battlefield
that's what
going
I'm
live
saying.
service. We called it.
You literally just said it, bro.
So it is in fact the CEO or whatever else of Battlefield or head broad name whatever came out and said yep it's going that way. Talked about Wayfinder ditching their free to play model and moves to paid co-op with microtransactions. Guys, that is episode 122. There was so much that we talked about. I really hope that you enjoyed the show. We were all excited to get on here. Some really great discussions that happened. Chat, you guys were amazing. Again, if this is your first time, if this is your first show, man, you chose a doozy to come in and start listening. But
Yeah.
if it's not, thank you for being here. And again, if it is, hey, hit that subscribe button, click the bell, give us a thumbs up. It helps with all the algorithms. We've got shorts that go out. Make sure that you check out all of those. We are now live streaming on the channel. I threw up some streams. I know Bill is planning on throwing up some streams as well as Scruffy up on the channel. So you guys are getting even more content from us on there. Head over to anchor.fm/prepatch podcast to get your all the other episodes. You can go to Spotify. You can head over to our Discord. You can get us on Twitter or X. There's so many places, Twitch, all these places you can consume all of our content. And thank you so much for everybody that does. But make sure you tell a friend. Hey, check out these guys. Tell
your grandma.
Tell your grandma. We are pretty popular around the 70 to 80 age group. I don't know why, but hey, maybe it's just
62. We've got
got-
at least 1% of our audience.
Well,
Like 1.1% of audience.
I can tell you who that is. There's a person in our chat right now who
He's right there.
who handles
He's right
that,
there.
so-
Where are you
Yeah,
at, Stevens?
Yeah, there you are. So,
love Stevens.
but anyway, thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. Hope you guys have an amazing night, an amazing weekend. We will see you guys next week on Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Twitch, hopefully. But we are out, guys. Bye.
Hasta luego.
Of course, man. God damn it, bro. Fucking, I swear. We're still here. Hold on. I
122
gotta
episodes, by
gotta
the way.
fucking.
Wait.
I can't. I don't know. I can't. It's whatever.
122
It's just the
episodes.
way it is. Shut up. Leave me alone. I don't know what's wrong.
Cut it. End it.
Break out the trackpad.
Installation.